All right, here we go with another season, right? 2008 Pre-Season Podcast. I'm here with King Crispy again. Chris, the Spokane Sasquatches GM, and I'm here with our reigning champion, Michael, the Huron Herons. So welcome, Chris. Welcome, Mike.
Thank you,
Michael.
Paul. Thank you.
Thanks. It's good to be back.
Yeah, so we're going to break down the teams tonight, right? Look through everybody in the league and just see what we can expect here as we go into the 2008 season. And much like tradition, we're going to start off with the champions and with the championship division, which is the Topaz division this year. The Fire Conference getting their second straight championship after going 0 for 5 in the first 5 attempts. So, you know what, Michael? I'll let you kind of lead things off since this is your team and you are a reigning champion. So tell us a little bit about the 2008 version of the Huron Herons.
All right. So the pitching will look pretty much the same as what I ended the season with last year. I traded for George Reed and I think it's Ricardo. I think I call him Ricardi by accident sometimes. Anguiano, who are ranked I think they're both ranked number 1 and number 2, like the 2 best starting pitchers in the league. So I'm hoping that should be a strength for me. I wasn't happy with my offense last year. So, and I had a lot of really bad money on the books. It was mostly my own fault, players that I had signed that the contracts just didn't work out. Some of them declined, some of them just weren't performing like how I had hoped. So I made that trade to dump a bunch of salary by trading Omar Gonzalez. And now, which was kind of all I was hoping would be the plan all along, I was able to bring him back.
Yeah, for $30 million this year.
Yeah. He wanted, I wouldn't have traded him last year, except he wanted a 2-year deal, and he's like 37, 38.
It's 39, actually, yeah.
39. So I wasn't going to give him a 2-year deal, and I figured I might as well get something for him. I thought I'm probably going to make the playoffs regardless of how my team does down the stretch. And they did awful. They were like a 500 team, I feel like.
I thought it was all going to blow up in your face. Yeah, you started to collapse. Yeah. I was worried for you.
Yeah, they were so bad the last 2 months of the season. So I think I got kind of lucky. It just kind of shows if you make the playoffs, anything can happen, even if you're like a 92-win wild card team.
I mean, you had 2 guys. I mean, we'll give you your championship podcast, but you had 2 guys that went off in the playoffs.
Who like
insane?
Yeah,
absolutely. But yeah. So tell me, you got George Reed here, 29 years old. You got him locked up on a super long-term contract. You've got faith in him. It's crazy to me that he's not fully developed and he's like 29. I don't understand why the game does that sometimes, or maybe that's just my scouting.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the ratings are a little weird. I mostly just go by the stats, and sometimes like the rankings, the OSA rankings will be. I feel like those are sometimes more accurate than the overall ratings, and sometimes they're way off. Like there was that one prospect where it was like this is a top 50 prospect, and he was awful.
Yep. George Reed's been dominant.
But yeah, I've got
pretty much every season.
Yeah,
in the league for Phillies.
I've got him locked up. I have Pat Farrow and Victor Rivera locked up to 5-year contracts. So this is my core. I feel like this is my window. I've kind of gone all in and have 0 top 100 prospects. I've even traded my prospects. I don't have any first round picks in the next 2 drafts either. So yeah, I feel like this is my window. I added, in addition to Omar Gonzalez, Hector Campos, and then a bunch of other complimentary guys. Angel Lopez, who I think was on your team last year.
Yeah, no, I was definitely upset about that signing. And this shows you, I'm a little unengaged at the moment, but I didn't realize how good of a season he had. He put up 4 WAR last year, but he wouldn't re-sign with me because my team was such hot garbage. But I had an offer out for him in free agency, and you just outbid me by a couple million.
Oh, gotcha. And I feel like he's probably a candidate to regress a little bit. I don't think he's actually a 3.74 WAR player.
Yeah,
but I think he's going to be useful. I think he's an ideal platoon guy. He has I think 70 I against righties, so he'd be a good leadoff hitter. and I think he stole like something like 20 bases and got caught once last year.
Yep, he did
And
23
I've
bases, one
traditionally
caught.
been, yeah, I've traditionally been like a very station to station. You either walk or you hit home runs. So I think it will be good to add a little bit of a more diverse tool set to the offense. Um, we'll see. I think I'll probably have a good offense, but I'm not sure they could finish anywhere from like average to I think one of the better offenses, at least in this conference. It seems like the other conference is a lot more offensively minded. Pretty much all the top offensive teams were in the other conference last year, and all the top pitching teams were in our conference. So
Yeah, I would agree with that. And I mean, you stole both of those guys from the other conference, those two pitchers that you acquired, Guiano and Reed.
oh,
So
that's true.
yeah, so you
Like
further imbalanced the conferences.
right. Yeah. Yeah. And I feel like with the kind of league ratings changing to being more hitter friendly,
Offensive, yeah.
yeah, offensive friendly. I think it's at first I valued like hitters a lot more because we were all so starved for offense that I felt like they had a larger impact. And now I feel like it's flipped where we're kind of starved for quality pitching. You can't put
Yeah.
out like a 45 overall rated starting pitcher and have them post like a sub 3 ERA anymore. You actually have to have good pitchers in order to like get good results. So I was
Yeah,
hoping
no, I agree.
yeah, I was hoping by going more pitcher friendly, I would be more competitive, but we'll see how it all works out. My team was kind of all over the place last year. They had a very different postseason than they did a regular season.
Yeah, well, there were definitely some people that thought you were crazy when you traded away Gonzalez, and in the grand scheme of things, of all the
Yeah.
moves you made, though, it turned out really nicely. And yeah, no, I think you have a
Really
pretty
could
good
have
core
blown out
there
in my
and a good
face.
mix of. Yeah, yeah, you have a good mix though of like vets, and your core is still pretty young, like you said. So I think your team is structured pretty good right now in terms of future success possibilities.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we're in good shape for the next 3 or so years. After that, who knows? It might be a painful rebuild. But that's a problem for future me. So this is my window. I'm going to go for it. I'm going to try to win as many times as I can.
Yep, fair enough.
Yeah.
All right. Well, what do you think, Chris, going to the next team?
Yeah.
Um,
Is there anything else you want to go over? You think of?
No, I don't really have a farm system to review. So.
Yeah, no, your best players got like 156 rated overall, so.
Yep, I'm one of the two teams that has 0 top 100 prospects. So I don't really think we need to waste time reviewing my farm system.
He's hiding something.
who was number 2
I
last
wish.
year? Was
Maybe
that?
I'll have a
I'm sorry. Was that Milwaukee?
I think it was
Kingston.
Was it Kingston? Yeah, Kingston made the run at the
finished
end. Didn't
first.
they?
Yeah, didn't he win
Kingston
the division?
First.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we started with the champion.
Yeah.
Kingston did win the division. Forgot about that. Man, things really turned out weird. You finished like 4th, didn't you? Or did you finish 3rd or 2nd? Where did you finish last year, Michael?
I think I finished second. I was like 3 games behind Kingston.
I think you did finish second.
All right. I have terrible memory, clearly. So right before we started this podcast, I said I got this all memorized. Do not worry about it. Right? Yeah. So kind of didn't remember who won the division, but that was Kingston. So let's take a look at the Frontenacs and Jacob's team. I think they're still pretty good. He's definitely traded away assets this season, though.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, a pretty big package. You got a nice return. But trading away Costa is a big change for his team.
Yeah, definitely facelift without Coster. But that guy in the rotation because he was good at pitching, if I can remember correctly.
Yeah, I mean, he could hit
it
and
was
he
a
could
two-way.
pitch. Yep. Yeah. So, but he's still got the best second baseman now in the game, right? He used to play shortstop, I think, but probably smart to move over to second base at this point in his career. Has he been at second or shortstop? Am I misremembering that as well?
He was a shortstop, I believe, at first, and he definitely swapped him over. I think we can go to career. He plays every position, so.
Yeah, he played shortstop early, but he's been on second base for a couple of years now. But yeah, no, the best second baseman in the league. He put up 7.8 WAR last season. He's just been better year after year. You know, sometimes he gets injured a little bit, but when he stays healthy, he's one of the best players.
Yeah, top dog.
Yep.
Top dog in the Frontenacs.
I mean, his offense up and down the board is pretty good, right? Like, he's got Kareem Amos that he picked up from San Antonio at some point.
Denver. Picked him up from Denver.
Right, yeah.
And he was a former Huron as well.
So that was the original trade, and that's where he came from, San Antonio, I think.
Yeah.
So Kareem's on to his fourth team. He's bouncing around, but he's a really, really great player, I think.
Agreed. I think he also.
He's been down the last few years if you look at his stats, actually. Or I guess not. He played for 3 teams last year alone. Put up 3.7 more, so he's been pretty solid.
I think Kingston said that his pitching was going to be his downfall this year.
Yeah, he did say that in his preseason announcement.
It looks like he's got a lot of unproven guys starting right now at the moment. Ooh. Not good seeing those numbers right there.
Yeah, Andrew Lehman's been pretty solid for him over like 3 seasons. So maybe he can rely on Lehman there to be a leader on the pitching staff. He's got Kenny Hedges, lefty, and this guy's only in his 2nd season. Not very good, or his 3rd season, but not very good his first year, but his last year was pretty big breakout season for him, and he's a captain. So that's a nice little piece.
Yeah, he'll round the crowds right up. He'll get the team back in focus, I bet. He's already got a couple injuries from spring training as well. But they're only going to miss the next couple weeks with Oscar Munoz, but he'll be back in 3 weeks. And he lost another pitcher. It looks like he was his rookie year last year. So
I do like his bullpen. I feel like the back pieces. I don't know about the depth of the bullpen, but yeah, actually, I mean, he's got no depth in the bullpen. But I mean, the back end pieces are kind of nice. Like Mark Word, I like, and I like John Medina. So yeah, I can see this pitching staff struggling for sure. Like, a couple of good pieces, but definitely not a lot of depth.
See what he's got for prospects. He got a couple. Got number 42 and 174. That's about it for his top prospects. It says almost ready.
He did mention that his team's going to be like a defensive-minded team. Like, he's hoping for 4 Gold Gloves, and I can kind of see that. He's got a bunch of gloves.
Yeah,
I'm
Ron
really
Oliver.
jealous of his shortstop.
Yeah, Ron Oliver. He was on my team a while ago. He's a beast at shortstop, defensively.
I mean, Kimbrough has 4 Great Gloves already, and he's back out there as well. You know, Rich Gordon, actually more of an offensive guy, but has a Gold Glove 2 seasons ago. No.
Yeah, he's a great team. He'd definitely be competing for a playoff spot.
Maybe. I don't think the predictions like him as much, but I mean, obviously, spring preseason predictions aren't everything, but you got him as a 500 team, so we'll see.
Top players. The predictions never like him because I think he rests a lot of his top players in spring training.
Yeah, and what I'm gonna, like, after I pull all the opening day rosters, I'm gonna rerun preseason predictions, so hopefully we can get a more accurate kind of thing. But you're right, it pulls like the whole roster. I feel like when you have like spring training guys on. So Yeah. Any other thoughts on Jacob's team? What do you think, Michael?
Did you talk about that extension for Rich Gordon?
I don't know if I did. I haven't looked at his
Ho!
contracts here.
Ho!
It's a non-conventional extension.
Holy
I
smokes!
was really hoping.
Some
I was
player
really
options.
hoping he would make it to free agency. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that's gonna lock up a little cash for the next couple of seasons. That's crazy.
He is. I feel like he is one of the best players in the league.
He is, for sure.
But it was just,
I mean,
it's one of the more interesting things he did.
Again, the only thing I'm worried about him is the injury history. Like 2 of the last 3 years, he's missed a quarter. So if he gets what he gets out of him in 2007, that's awesome. Well, you know what? Even look at the WAR, though. Even when he's missing it, it probably is worth it.
Yeah.
Assuming he doesn't like rapidly break down. Yep. Yep. That's crazy. I wonder what his ask was. How could it be that much? That's insane.
I think it's.
But oh, go ahead.
To get him to, I think he had to do a little financial creativity to get him to take 17 million for. Yeah, and to get him to only agree to a 3-year extension. I would think he was probably asking for 5 years, but
I do like just looking at the contract page. I do like the Adrian Lehman contract.
If I remember correctly, he really loved Rich Gordon, and I think Rich Gordon, he has an empty open checkbook for him, blank check.
yeah, I could see why.
Which is funny because Gordon's personality. Gordon lacks the drive to be the best. Personality class, unmotivated. Here's $50 million. Please don't be unmotivated.
Maybe he's just naturally talented, though.
Yeah, no, for sure. He clearly is. He's already got. I mean, he might be a Hall of Famer, right? I mean, he's definitely a Hall of Famer if he keeps playing at this rate. He's at 50 WAR already. He's 31.
We talk about it every podcast, but the unmotivated guy is the guy that's always going to be Hall of Famer for sure, no, without a doubt.
Yeah, there are a bunch of really bad personalities in our league who are like Hall of Fame pace players.
Yeah.
Which I actually think is really great. I actually really like that. We have a league of hotheads. No, but I really like the Adrian Lehman contract. 16.5 million. He's again, pitching's hard to find, and he's been solid. So lock him up long term.
Yeah, I think in like the opening day channel, Jacob said that he's not quite as happy with his pitching as he usually is, but it seems like Jacob always finds a way to be competitive. He's finished first or second in this division ever since I've joined the league.
Yeah.
So I have no doubt he's going to make it work somehow, and I would expect him to finish first or second again.
Yeah, he's talented. I did see the one year he didn't make the postseason. He's not afraid to sell too, so I think he'll make a good decision. We've given him too much of a spotlight. Time to move on to the next team.
I was gonna say we gotta move. Stand-ins, all right.
Milwaukee, right?
Was it Milwaukee or was it
91 wins?
Or was
and Louisville had 91 wins.
Well, they were tied. Yeah, they were tied with Louisville.
Let's give it. Let's talk about Louisville. All right, Milwaukee it is, Chris.
Oh, damn.
Oh, you son of a bitch.
Milwaukee. Okay, we're doing Milwaukee.
All right, Milwaukee. All right, third time's the charm. Yeah, let's talk about Bob's team. Bob's been, I like what he's done since he joined the league. Finally making the postseason, breaking the streak. Indy and Washington both making their first postseason after being 0 for 7. So he hasn't been the GM the whole time, but he's turned the team around and winners. And he started terrible. If you remember last year, he was like 7-19, maybe worse.
Yeah, he's pretty bad.
And then he won like 17 straight games. Didn't really look back.
Yeah. What'd you say?
What do we think of his team?
feel like Bob usually makes some like fundamentally sound teams with strong pitching and good defense. He got I think his best starter, John Kraus, is out for 3 months, which is kind of tough. So I don't think his pitching is going to be quite as good as it usually is. I think, at least until he returns, outside of those top two, John Floor and Siobhan Cooper, the rest of those guys I think are really going to struggle. But if he can tread water long enough until John Kraus comes back, I think he'll be a strong team.
Yeah,
Yeah, his pitching does look. Go ahead, Chris.
I was gonna say his pitching does look a little lackluster, but I don't think he has a refreshed. I think he's got his spring training roster going. I noticed he had a guy in here that was like a 20 over 80 or something like that, or 20 over 55.
Yeah, he's an exporter, yeah, which is
So
he actually has his active roster's at 28 right now. So, at least I see he was exporting, but it doesn't matter. Honestly, looking at his team, I don't hate Dave Wallace, who's on the DL right now, or at least he's injured for 4 days. The guy's only 22, and he had a decent season last year, almost a sub-3 ERA.
it looks like he's got a lot of young pitching coming up. So it's either make it or break it with that pitching staff.
Yeah.
So none of them are fully developed at the moment.
I mean, he's got a solid team up and down, though. His line is terrible. Like,
Yeah.
I like his leadoff guy, Jose Hernandez. He's got pretty nice bars. And he's still developing. He's fast. Get on base.
like
Ponte's obviously, Ponte's been a journeyman, but again, you see him at the top of the leaderboard in steals almost every year. He stole 80 bags last year. He's got him in the 2-4 right now. So top of his lineup is very much all about speed. Like all his guys are actually pretty fast. Even his like 3-4 hitters aren't terrible in speed.
Yep, three is pretty speedy.
But no, his team, I like the bars on his team. Like throughout his offense, he just combines getting on base and quick. So I think he's more of a, I want to say like small ball team, but someone that I think is going to score quite a few runs.
Hit and run.
I think he's got a good bullpen.
Yeah, Jeremy
Say that
Perry's
again?
good.
I think he added Mike Harold in the offseason.
I think he traded for Mike. Yeah, agreed. Mike Harold's captain status. He's got all the good qualities.
Yeah, that's a nice. And he's a lefty.
And he has a championship. Yeah. Bringing that championship mentality to Milwaukee. Yeah, look at Roland Rodriguez, ex-Paddler. We miss you. Traded him last year at the deadline. And he's been pretty bad, actually. So hopefully that guy can turn it around. But, yeah, no, I think he's got a pretty good... I would pick him to compete this year. I don't know about you guys.
I think he'll make the playoffs.
We picked 3 teams to make the playoffs now, so you guys are saying something about the other division. We've got to be getting better eventually, right? So something's going to surprise us this year. We'll see. I don't know. Yeah, Milwaukee can be competitive.
He's got a bunch of prospects. He's got 3 of them he's got 53 here with Ryan Herrera. Starting pitcher Miguel, man, giving me all these curveballs, but yeah, he's got some prospects coming up as well.
Yeah, and some of them are really starting to develop. Like Millsaps is probably like a year and a half away, maybe. Yeah, he's got a bright future-ish, right? Yeah.
Mislaps is actually hitting 5th in his lineup right now.
Or he has assets to go all in. He's got a lot of options.
So he's got a rookie starting off this year with Mislaps.
Oh, does he have him in the lineup?
Yeah, he's hitting fifth. So.
Well, again, you may not have pulled his export yet, right? So.
I did run exports, so yes, it may not have been. So, correct. Are we moving on to the next team?
Yeah, I think so.
And that would be Louisville, right?
That would be Louisville. So we got our other 91 win team. We had 4 teams with 90 plus wins in the Topaz this year. And Chuck is our 2-time ago, the 2006 TBL champion, and he made the playoffs again last year with a solid team, but bowed out pretty quickly, if I remember, which I usually don't, so don't quote me. But yeah, he did lost 3-1 wild card.
In the second round.
He lost in the wild card 3-1. Looks like. So I think you beat him in the first round.
Oh, okay.
I think you beat Chris in the second round, which we'll talk about at some point.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
No, I lost to Heron. The Herons.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's what. Yeah, that's who Michael is.
Yeah, my bad.
Yeah, that's okay. So yeah, I mean, what do you guys think of Chuck's team this year?
I think he's got another competitive team. Park, the third baseman Park, he's just a great player. He's got.
Yeah, this is his contract year.
So he's gonna ball out this year.
I agree. He's 27 years old. It's really hard to believe, actually.
Looks like his pitching staff is young and developing. So
it's crazy to think about Park after having multiple. In 2005, wait, where is it? Let's see. He was the TBL MVP of the championship series, and then the next year he wins MVP of the league. So this dude's just got nothing but good things coming. We'll see what Chuck has to pay him though if he wants to keep him, right?
Be a lot of money. He's got
9 more
a
last
blank check
Yeah,
as well.
I really like. Yeah, I really like his starting pitcher Eric Pierce as well.
Yes, I do too. He was a top prospect if I remember correctly. 15th overall, so they actually got him kind of mid in the draft. That's a great pick at 15. Look how bad he was last year. 2 straight seasons, actually. He hasn't been really great. And he's pretty underdeveloped right now.
My scout likes his ratings more.
Yeah. I'm just saying, statistic-wise, though, 124 innings, plus 5 ERA.
Looks like he spent some time. He must have got injured last year. He
has struggled with injuries, too. That's the other problem with him.
He was out 8 weeks last year, so.
If you look, too, all the injuries are to the right leg. That's not good.
Get a leg doctor, quick.
Get a leg doctor. Yeah, that's some good advice. Yeah, we all need a good leg doctor. Juan Pacheco also gets injured quite a bit. I'm lying. This is the other Juan Pacheco. I keep forgetting.
He's injured now.
No, the other one retired. Curse the game for doing that to us.
I think.
It is. This is champion Juan Pacheco. Can't get him confused. But let's get him on the big time arbitration numbers if he wants to keep going with him at age 37. He can cut that off anytime. It's actually pretty nice.
Huh. Crazy. 37 years old, non-arbitration.
Yeah. Who else do you guys like on this team?
How's this bullpen?
I gotta say, I don't love.
I kind of feel like the rest.
Yeah.
Just gonna say, I kind of feel like the rest kind of took a little bit of a step back. I feel like there's a little bit of a drop off between, if you look at the position rankings, when we went from Milwaukee to Louisville, it seems like there's a lot more.
Yeah, a lot of mid-range,
yellow and
guys there.
Yep.
Yeah.
I
agree
noticed
with you
that
on
it's very static or it like moves around throughout the season, and the season hasn't started, so
Yeah.
sometimes it's a little funky.
Yeah.
For sure, guys can come out of nowhere and surprise you. These things change. It's a good measuring stick to start from, I think.
Yeah, it is a good measuring stick. I agree.
I gotta say, I like Dan Davis. He's like in a slightly above average player. I don't love his bars, but he's like produced. Dude's led the league in doubles 2 of the last 3 seasons.
And he can play the
He was big in the postseason.
He can play the position as center fielder as well. So.
Yeah, he's the starting center fielder, I think. So. But yeah, I mean, Chuck's team, if we remember correctly, I mean, can't discount he had another 91 last year. He's made the postseason 3 straight years, although I think one was a different GM. But this team's been competitive for multiple years, and even when they won the championship, they were underdog. They were like the last team into the playoffs.
They're wild card.
In the final conference, and they made that run. Yeah. So.
He's got the 15th.
I think a lot of these.
Got the 15th ranked prospect in Pete Robinson. He's 21. He looks like he could be ready in a couple seasons. We'll see.
It's nice to see them start to develop. I feel like
once this.
I feel like if you see him stick at 20 for too long, then you're ready to see that potential drop like shortly thereafter.
Yeah, when they stick at 20 for a while, that's usually when the potential goes away. I like it when it like stays at 80 and then the overall goes up. And you're like, all right, develop more, baby.
Yeah, it's like there's a chance he meets his potential. There's a chance. Yeah, no, he's got some good.
You trade them.
You trade him, yeah. Michael, you should take that advice, whoever's listening to the podcast, because Michael, I would say you're our trade guru in the league, so you make some
I've traded all my prospects, so.
Yeah. What else do we think about Chuck's team? What are your predictions? You think he's gonna have what it takes this year? Are you guys gonna predict 4 teams into the playoffs?
I think he's gonna have a mediocre season, and I don't think he's definitely not taking 1 and 2 in my opinion. Because like what Michael said with the league rankings, like I think his team maybe did step back in a couple positions, so I think Milwaukee's in a better position than Louisville this season.
Yeah, I think
it could go either way.
I agree. I think it's going to be a very similar season to last year. If we didn't look at Walt Tavara, we should look quick. He was Walt Tavara. I think he was in Rookie of the Year running last year, but he didn't win. He's a nice looking pitcher for the future.
Yes, definitely is.
Tavera. He's got 4 nice pitches.
He's a workhorse, and he keeps
Yeah.
the runners in check.
Yeah, he's a ground ball pitcher, and his injury history is completely. I think this guy's a guy we'll be talking about in a couple.
Looks like he got a little injured during spring training too, so but nothing he can deal with next month, except for Jorge Almanza.
I will say Brandon Geary's been really good too. He was a big piece of their championship run. He's their number 2 pitcher. So they're 1 through 3 actually. Like Brad Flores is a lefty in the 4 spot. So I don't hate the staff. But yeah, we're probably going over on Chuck. So what do you think? On to the next one?
Yeah.
All right. I know I got to keep us on pace. Sorry, I like to ramble.
Would that be St. Louis next or Virginia?
I think that's St. Louis. Yeah, St. Louis was the best team to not make the postseason. They finished 85 and 77 last year. And Georgia's team has been kind of close. Like, he's been a pretty 500-ish team the last few years. He definitely improved last year, and I feel like he's a little better this year. At least the preseason predictions were nice to him. Obviously, we said those aren't everything, but they like his team. So let's take a look to see if we like his team.
First off,
What do
he's
you
got
guys?
Frank Dansick.
Yeah, we always have to talk about Frank first, right? Frank is a perennial beast. This guy was on pace for like 165 home runs at one point last season, and then he got injured. I think the pace died down to like 80 home runs before he got injured, but still, he was just crushing the ball.
Yeah.
And he's only 31, so he could crush the ball for another 10 seasons.
He was the 1-1 overall in the inaugural draft too, correct?
He was the 1-1. That's correct.
And I think he's going to retire on St. Louis because I don't know if you guys
100%.
have had trade discussions with George, but very unique approach, which I appreciate. He really likes his players and he doesn't want to trade them.
Yes.
Which I think is great because this is a game and these aren't real players, so you should do whatever you think is fun.
I like to needle a little bit every. I think it's cool, and I hope he has success doing it. Honestly, wins a championship somewhere, some season.
Yeah, I think his team took a step forward. He also is a really strong. Corey Kimball is a really strong starting pitcher.
100%, yeah.
Great.
Yeah, Kimball.
Shiba Inu.
Kimball looks pretty good.
He's got some good
Kimball
stuff.
looks like he took a dev hit this year, which is unfortunate, but still looks really good. The control is definitely worrisome.
Yeah, he's got good stuff. Don't worry about it. And the movement.
I mean, he did have kind of a down season. Get injured. So he suffered a right shoulder injury last year, and then he took a dev hit. So that's actually really, really scary.
Yes, that is.
That sucks. He's just 24 too.
I know. Yep. Hopefully that turns around. Carlos Castro was the 1-1 overall in the 2001 draft. So that's kind of Frank Danzig's soul brother right there. Get that 1-1 bond in the 2001 season.
Yeah, the luck of this draw. This guy.
Yeah, that's a great piece of lore in our league's history. George won the 1-1 inaugural draft and the first-year player draft in the same season, and I rolled like randomly to do that with 28. But yeah, George has really nice pieces. His team look decent. But what do you guys think of depth? Like, there's some really big names here, but then there's a lot of fillers.
Yeah, a lot of mediocre players in between. It's a lot like.
Yeah, I think that's
a lot like Louisville.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking as well. Reminds me a lot of Louisville. I could see either one of these teams. I think they're both kind of on the bubble.
Yeah, they can both.
He definitely has a nice defensive squad. I feel like I think Bobby Faust has some of the better defensive bars that I've seen from a shortstop. It can't hit at all, but he's trying to have these basically like these pieces. The top of the lineup's like about driving the offense, and then got defensive fillers. Although Mullins, I think, is a little underwhelming center field.
Yeah. He's got decent offensive bars. He can't hit a home run, but won't strike out.
I do like Amari Taylor a lot, the catcher. He hasn't put up like really great statistics, but I don't know. That catcher ability, that catcher arm, that's going to impact on pitching staff. Do you guys look at catcher framing at all?
I do every once in a while.
I do, yeah.
He's not.
I do not, but I've heard that it's important.
He helps your pitchers out big time.
His framing actually has been kind of. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say I think my catcher's led the league the last 2 years. That's the only reason he's on my team because he
The
can't hit
secret.
it all.
Brian Gregory, yeah, he used to be on my team, but that's 80. But Brian Gregory was like 2 for 50 in the postseason before getting a big hit in the World Series,
So
the championship. Yeah, it was crazy bad.
I actually took him out the last 3 games.
I like his bullpen. His bullpen's got some nice pieces. This Mitsuru Oba guy, free agent signing. I think maybe one of those international free agents that enter the league.
Oh, a lefty.
Looks
He got
pretty
what was
good.
his contract? I thought he got a surprisingly
Wow.
large contract, though.
It is 19 million and 15 million. Definitely a lot for a reliever, but I guess like when you have Georgia's type of strategy, right? I mean, it's hard to naturally develop that much pitching, you know.
Yeah, and
So
it's
you have
hard
to get
get
it through
lefties.
free agency, and you have to, it is.
You have to basically hope that your guys you get from free agency aren't gonna. What I've always found with guys on free agency is they always dev down as soon as you sign them. So
Yes. Well, and especially some of those international free agents then.
oh yeah,
Because usually they come in with low scouting, and everybody like rushes for them.
And they can be like duck breast and pitch 2 innings and then are out for 14 months.
Like I almost like the strategy of paying a lot for Oba though, because if he is good, then you have him on arbitration years after that. And his arbitration numbers look really high right now, like 24, 26 million, ridiculous for a reliever. But like maybe those come down after they realize he's a bullpen guy, and that's not value. I don't know how that works. I guess maybe they stay that high.
Yeah, who knows?
I guess I'm just talking to myself about that. Sorry. But Mike Anderson, good defender, second base, right? He's getting paid $20 million a year for 2 years, so that's kind of a big contract. But Castro's got 2 years left at arbitration before he's going to get paid. So yeah, he could be good this year, right?
Oh yeah.
But you guys have now said that every team so far is a playoff team. So is St. Louis and Georgia's team a playoff team? You know, and you said Louisville was on a bubble, so that's maybe in, maybe out. Said the same thing about Milwaukee. I'll give you credit, not sure things, but
I said Milwaukee. I believe Milwaukee is more of a playoff team than Louisville, and I believe St. Louis and Louisville are in the same boat. They're on a bubble, in my opinion.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
All right. If we did look at his system real quick, I think he's got the number of 61 prospects. A pitcher. Got a lot of pitching prospects.
I have 59.
Uh,
Yeah, a lot of pitching.
All right, let's move on to 6th place, which I believe was Virginia. Yep.
Yeah.
Virginia's another one of these teams that's had postseason success. They missed last year, but they weren't 77-85. They made like kind of a later season run. So if that carries over this year, they could be good. I don't know. Preseason predictions really likes them, so that's something again, just like St. Louis. But what do you guys think? What sticks out on the Virginia Rebels? What do you like about Andrews?
Looks like in their team position rankings, they have more of a better playing field. Looks like Ian Crockett, I believe he's a recent signing, free agent. Yeah, on 2-2. He's kind of old, but if he, can bring some good WAR to the team and good, good solid offense.
Good defense too, right?
Yeah, good defense.
It's like a center fielder who's got that good range.
Looks like he's got another defensive shortstop in there with McBride.
He's actually one of the better defenders, it looks like, maybe in the league. Great. He had 13.6 zone rating last year at center field.
Who was that?
Crockett?
Crockett?
Yeah.
Yeah, they lost Phil Crawhorn, but they added a lot of really good defensive guys in Ian Crockett, Tim Castro, who was on my team, as well as Arturo Revelorio, who was on my team last year as well. I feel like they took a step forward the second half of last year, and looking at their rankings now, I think they improved on last season.
I agree with that. They definitely look like they've improved. Pitching staff. Wow, that's one thing I haven't looked at is their pitching staff. Looks like he's got some young guys hitting or pitching second.
I feel like Virginia is just like, I mean, their numbers, their ballpark numbers aren't skewed that much, but it feels like they have good pitching every year, and they can do it without having like top talent.
Yeah, I think this team looks like it's going to. I think he has a better chance than Milwaukee or Louisville.
Actually, I mean, I don't know. I really don't like the team's pitching very much. Even if you just look statistically at like the seasons last year, all these guys had, none of these guys were good. Like, his whole staff was pretty terrible last year.
It's a new year.
With the exception Nick Hutchinson. I'll give him a little credit for having a Nick. It is a new year. Yeah, you can turn it around, but
Chris Puckett is new. Was he any good last year?
he was good. Chris Puckett was pretty good with Fort Collins. He's added a couple new pieces, but he's got to get better production out of some of these other ones, or he's going to be in trouble. Brian Romo was good last year too, so there are some nice people.
McDowell seems decent.
McDowell's okay, yeah.
So you can turn it around.
Brian Romo had a great season last year. 242 innings pitched. What a workhorse.
Yeah, wow.
What's his focus though? I mean, he's not power hitting team. Guess maybe an on base / speed team.
Yeah, this Alex.
Defensive team. What do you guys think?
Alex Alonso's a hitter and speedy guy. Dave Castillo, his number 2 guy, looks like he's a power guy.
You know, someone who hasn't put up good numbers, but I love his bars and I just don't get it. It's Jesse Glancy. Like, I feel like his offensive bars are pretty good, and he's just been kind of an average dude. I'm also looking at OSA. But I'm not looking at my scout.
Can he hit righties?
Oh, splits? Not as well as lefties. That's a good point. But they're not terrible.
No, yeah, they aren't bad. I would think he would hit better.
Yeah. Trade him.
Just had an off season last year. He'll be back in this.
Trade him to the Paddlers. He needs a fresh start. Should we look at his system real quick?
Yeah.
Everything there.
Team. He's got the number 4 guy with Juan Ramirez. This guy looks like a
young, but
contact stud.
He's out of 80. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know about him. I don't know if he's the number 4 guy.
Yeah, I don't either.
He was an IAFA pick 3 seasons ago. Wonder what he bid on him. Let's take a look. $2.6 million. What a steal. He came in as the number 72 prospect, and he's been moving up. So maybe he is going to be good.
All right.
Juan Ramirez. Remember the name.
You're
right. He's got some decent pieces. Go ahead.
He's got another guy too, Ward Ratteray. He's pretty close. He looks like a season away, maybe.
Yeah, he looks good. He's in AAA right now. Last season he was in AAA.
So
23. We might see him this season if he doves up.
Yeah.
That's a good catch. All right, what do you think? Moving on.
Yeah, I like this team.
I like his system. Yeah. Like even some of the again, not as highly touted prospects, I guess you'd say. there's some nice pieces in there. So he drafts well, it seems.
Yeah, agreed. And last
Yeah,
place
I'm ready for
was
this.
Nashville.
Nashville, Cody's team.
Yep.
And Cody was competitive for about 60 games last year, and then he hit a huge losing streak, and that just kind of summed up his season. I feel like 72 wins, not a terrible team, but definitely just a middling team right now, and would need some improvement this year to become a playoff team. He did sign a ton of free agents, so I think we're looking at a very different team this year. Yeah.
He also lost
What do you guys
a lot
think of his
free
team?
agents.
He did, and he knows that. I reached that, and for the most part, as like commissioner, I try to protect people during those longer sims when we're going, a further period of time, and it's easier to forget that DFA list. But you got to remember to have supporting that roster open too. Just guys, officially, but
I think
it's all good.
in the off-season review or whatever, he lost the second most net WAR of any team.
Oh, really?
Because he lost. Yeah, he lost.
I think because
I think he lost 3/5 of his rotation as well.
All right. Let's take a look at his team transaction log. I'm curious.
Because I don't think Tom Lemieux is really like a number one. I like him as maybe like a long reliever, swing guy, but it's a little rough to have him as like your top pitcher.
And you got
I think he's
King.
Yeah. Take a look here. He's been playing catch up. He's got some good offensive pieces. But you're right. The pitching's pretty suspect.
Matthew DeAguilar, who's injured.
He did sign DeAguilar. Yeah. I mean, DeAguilar's 41 now.
Yeah, I think he's flaming out too. I think that was a bad sign.
I don't think it's a bad signing. I mean, if he's, yeah, you got him for pretty cheap. I think like $4 million maybe.
Yeah, 2.6.
$2 million.
Yeah, so yeah, definitely. It's tough too because
what's his popularity? What's his popularity?
He is fair.
Wow, I'm really surprised he's not more popular.
Yeah, that is
Mr. Clutch.
Mr. Clutch gets injured all the time. I had him for a season. You know when he got injured? When playoffs started.
Mr. Clutch, yeah.
Yeah, so he's clutch to miss the playoffs.
Yep. John Bartlett, interesting bars. He had a nice season last year, but he's led the league in strikeouts. He's led the league in strikeouts 2 of the last 3 seasons. He also is an on-base machine, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, you either get a strikeout or a walk, or a big hit.
Strikeout, walk, or a match to a home run.
I like Seth Thomas as well. Another young.
John Bartlett had more extra base hits than singles, which I kind of like.
Huh.
And Seth Thomas, you're right, is another stud. He's better than Bartlett for sure. Led the league in hits last year. Looks like at 219. That's probably also or close to it. Let's take a look. Hits in a season. The record is 234 by Mr. Retired.
Who was that again?
Seth Thomas, Ricardo Box, 234. Last year, Seth Thomas at 219, which was 4th all time. But yeah, no, he's really good. Obviously, he has personality. Definitely not really an outfielder. Because if we looked at his defensive stats, they're actually pretty average. They're not better than I thought they'd be. It looks like he does DH him a lot. Played like 2 seasons. He's played like 60 games.
Meet the team here. He's got a lot of top 25 guys on his prospects list. Dan Minty, if I remember correctly, this guy's been in a couple drafts.
Dan Minty, the name does sound familiar.
I think if you go to history, maybe. I don't know. There's a way to look at it. I don't know what it is. His name does ring a bell. He looks like he's deving up too. So
Looks like he was just signed once, but he might just be on your radar because he was such a high pick. He's the 4th overall pick that year. 5th, excuse me. So
yeah.
Probably you had the 6th pick that season. You're like, no, Dan Minty. It's just what I'm imagining happened. Dan Minty, unfortunately, has a pretty significant injury history, so not sure Dan Minty is going to be the stud that Nashville wants him.
That's too bad.
But he does look sexy. Give him the Chris Hanna Award. But, I mean, yeah, look at Nashville's system. I would say of all the teams in the total, without a question, has the deepest system. So he may have a bright future eventually. I just don't think this will be the year again for Nashville. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be the year for him.
Yeah, I think he has some decent offensive pieces, but just I don't think the pitching's going to be there for him to kind of be one of these teams on the bubble. He does have the #1 ranked farm system, though, so I feel like he's headed in the right direction.
Is it? Nice. I didn't notice that.
Yeah, I would agree. I don't think it's his year, but he's got a lot of bright things in the future ahead of him. So
yeah, I really like the
5th
Xavier.
ranked.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, I was just going to say his 5th ranked prospect is the 33rd best, and that's I think who you were going to talk about, Xavier Davis.
Yeah. He was just a 1-1. He actually has really funky bars, but yeah, interesting. He hasn't really got up either. I remember seeing him though and thinking, well, he wasn't sure about that pick, but pretty good.
yeah, he does have funky bars.
I do think, I mean, obviously the curse of the first baseman. I think he's got a lot of future first base pitches, so he's gonna have to parse that out a little bit and maybe get smart and maybe shuffle one of these top prospects for something in terms of a little more positional depth with his prospects.
Maybe some pitching.
Maybe some pitching. Yeah, he's got 2 decent pitching prospects, but we've seen the history for Minty, and pitching's always important. So that's it for the Topaz.
We're gonna do
What do you
preseason
guys-
predictions or what?
Of course, yeah. You guys picked 6 playoff teams, for fuck's sake. We're gonna make you
I
rank
didn't
them
pick
in order.
6 playoff teams.
We're gonna make this as painful as possible, Chris. So you go first.
Oh, sweet.
Actually, yeah, you
I'll
go
go
first. We'll
first.
make Michael go last. It's his division.
Yeah, I'll go first. I'll definitely go first. So I always go with the reigning champs as the winners of the division. So I'll say the Herons are first. I'll put Kingston second.
I don't gamble. You basically just said.
Milwaukee third.
Yeah.
Oh, and I want to say Virginia fourth. St. Louis fifth. Louisville sixth. Nashville seventh.
All right. I like it because it's not like my list at all. This is gonna be fun. Well, it's a little like my list. I'm a liar. Huron is also my #1, so it'll be on Michael to either call himself the champion or diversify the portfolio here. #2 in my book, actually, this year, I think is going to be. I really like shit. I don't remember. I think I like Louisville number 2. So you have them as 6. I have them as 2. We'll see who's right.
Ooh.
I'm gonna go with Milwaukee is my 3. St. Louis is my 4. Kingston is my 5. Virginia is my 6. And Nashville is my 6. All right, Michael, the floor is yours.
All right, I'm gonna go with Kingston first to jinx them, and then me second, then Milwaukee third. I feel pretty confident that those are going to be the top 3. After that,
Okay.
it gets a little hazy. So I like the direction St. Louis is headed in. I'm going to go out on a limb and pick them to finish 4th. Then I'll have Louisville 5th, Virginia 6th. I lost track of where I am.
It's tough. It's
So
tough.
Virginia and Nashville are left. So
Oh, only
7?
Virginia and Nashville are left?
Yep.
I would pick Nashville 7th and Virginia 6th.
All right. So just to circle back, this is our predictions. We all think Nashville is the last place team, unfortunately. You and I, Michael, think Virginia's 6th. Chris got them up to 4th. So we'll see if Andrew can prove us wrong and prove Chris right here. We all got Louisville in different spots. I like that. Chris got 6th. Michael's got 5th. I've got 2nd. We've all got Kingston in different spots. Michael's got them in a 1. I've got him 5th, and Chris has him 2nd. So I'm the Kingston hater this year, apparently. St. Louis 4, 4, and 5, and everybody picked Milwaukee 3rd. Did I leave anybody out? Oh, Huron 1, 1, and 2. So I think Huron's the safe bet that we're all claiming is going to make it, and everybody else could miss for me. We'll see, except for Nashville, you're out of it.
Except for Nashville.
Obviously kidding. It's
Maybe
opening
he
day.
trades for 2 pitchers.
Oh, 100%. 100%. I've been
Trade
so
him for
wrong
top 2
before.
pitchers and
Before this league started, I thought Jacob was going to be a terrible GM, and he's been one of the best. So, and I've told him that before, and I joked with him. So hopefully he's not mad. All right. What do you guys think? Quick 5-minute break, and then on to the next one.
Absolutely.
Does that work for you, Michael? All right.
Yep.
All right, here we go again. Let's kick it back up here with the Ruby division. And I think if we start off with our division winners last year, I think that was the Sasquatches up there in Washington State. Chris, tell us a little bit about it.
I had a really good team last year. I had a really surprising season, and it was kind of unfortunate that I missed the playoffs as I was going to vacation, but it is what it is. I lost anyways, so first round exit, so not very good. But
Second round, because you did get that bye.
I did get the bye, correct. So, but
and you almost came back from a 3-0 deficit, which was
I did.
You know,
that was one thing I thought when I was actually driving when my series was going on, and I stopped at a rest area and I saw that it was playing. It was like right at the end, and I saw that I was winning, and I was watching on my phone, and it was really small, and I was like, sweet, I won. And then I looked down, and I was like, oh, it was 3-1. I was like, oh, so I didn't look at it until I got there the next day, and yeah, I didn't see. I saw that. I was like, I figured I lost game one, the next one, and I saw that I almost came back. So I was only checking box scores. So I wish I could have watched it. It would have been exciting, but I had a really exciting team last year, and hopefully it goes on. I added a couple pieces. Jason Gartz I've added to my team, so I'm adding a bigger bat to my lineup because I think that was one of my weak points is last year. I mean, it wasn't really weak, but I mean, one thing lacking on my team was a guy with a bigger bat because I think other than that, it's Ben Fowler, who's hit 27. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think you really needed someone named the Todd Father on your team to be.
Yeah, I know exactly. You need the Todd Father, so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so now that you have the Todd Father, that's. You haven't. Are you gonna have him batting?
No, I'm not.
Right now?
It's kind of weird that I don't have him there. I thought I had him fourth.
Yeah, sometimes the screens don't show right. But... Or maybe they do, and you got to check on things, right? But yeah, no, I like your team. I think you bring back a lot of the core pieces.
Well, I have a very young team. It's because I was not really that good in the beginning. The inaugural season, I think the first 3 seasons I missed the playoffs. I took advantage of that, traded some pieces away, got some picks for them. I think there was one season I had 4 first-round draft picks, and a lot of them are actually starting on this team as we speak. Mike Marino was one of my first round picks of that year. He's starting my starting left fielder. He started last year. He had 2.7 WAR last year, and I think he's a good left fielder for me.
Yeah.
Wayne Williamson, I believe, was a first round pick for me. That he might have been the year before. I can't remember, but he's another guy, and I really like this guy. He's always on base, and
yeah, I mean he's one of your top players.
He's one of my top players for sure. He's a stud. I love this guy. Ben Fowler, he's an inaugural season draft pick, I believe, but he's just been on my team. He's always been just a solid player.
Yeah, I mean Adam Bashara is a future Hall of Famer, in my opinion.
He was.
He's 28 years old and he's got 7 All.
You picked him up in the 4th round of the inaugural draft, so he's just a. I remember picking him, and I was like, "This guy's gonna be a stud." I think he was like 21 or something like that.
Yeah, he's played up. It's crazy. He's in his 7th full season already. 28.
So, I think he's.
I mean, you never know. I guess how long.
He's on his contract year this year as well too, because I extended him as well. So he played his rookie contract, and I extended him, and all that great jazz.
He had a pretty clean injury slate for a catcher.
Yeah, he's a solid catcher. He's got the catcher ability. The catcher arm is there, but I think we were talking about framing, I believe, and his frame rate last year was 8.1. So pretty darn good. So
yeah, that's good.
And
yeah,
with that also, I believe I had the top pitching in the league last year.
I was gonna say it's pretty easy to.
It's pretty easy for them to do. Yeah, Joey
Johnson was pitcher of the year last year.
Pitcher of the year last year. He was just solid, rock solid. I paid him to come onto my team, and he's performing. So keep it going. Another first one, like what I said with the first rounders, was Corey Nelson. He was another first rounder. He's like one of my.
He's impressive.
Yeah,
I think he's in his 5th full season, and he's basically a 200 inning guy every year.
I like this guy a lot. He does lead the league in walks, but has a little control issue.
But he's an Iron Man. 26, he's an Iron Man with 5 pitches.
So I like that guy a lot.
That's how I work my jinx, Michael.
Cam Phillips as well. He was a rookie last year. I think he came like 2nd in Rookie of the Year voting.
Yeah, man, 6.1 more R-Ward.
So
led the league in ERA. Cameron Phillips.
He was a solid player for me, so I'm hoping he performs for me again this year. So I think we talked about this earlier. We think the Fire or the Ice Conference is more offensive, and our division's more pitching related. So, and I feel like I got one of the better ones. I lost my closer last year. I
love your pickup though, Eddie Sanchez, dude. That's. I mean, this dude's a jerk, but he's been good every year, and he always gets signed late.
So.
Yeah, that was a great pickup. He's 33, but he's been as good as it gets, and he's a lefty.
So.
You added Franklin Rico too as well, right?
Yeah, added Franklin Rico as well. So.
Another lefty.
So.
Yeah, good pickups.
He's got unique players, but I really like him.
Did you lose anybody?
I lost my closer somehow, like crazy. Like he retired on me. It was kind of crazy. I got this thing in the mail, and it said that he was feeling kind of funky, or not funky, but things were off in the locker room with him. And next thing you know, I was looking for him during the preseason to throw him in. I was like, "Where is my closer?" I didn't see the message where he retired on me. He just up and retired. He just left. So. Kind of crazy there, so I had to fill in another spot in my bullpen. So, but I feel like I got a good. I have a lot of depth. I have a lot of depth in my minors, so I can move pieces around here and there. So, I like my team a lot this year. I think I have a shot to make.
I think the last thing I noticed too is you got Scott Kinney as your closer. He's started for you for a couple straight seasons. What's the story right there? Are you putting him in the bullpen?
Yeah, I think it's a good spot for him. I may move him back into the lineup. Just gonna see how he performs there.
Yep. And then your system.
Free agent ask.
Yeah.
Looks like he's 4 years of.
I bet he's going to ask for a ton of money.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, you have some expiring contracts. That anybody
I have a lot of expiring contracts, so yeah, this is going to be fun year for me.
And you have 2 prospects that are not too far away. Both top 50 prospects: Edgar Maciel and Marty Petty. Yeah. So.
Marcial's pretty close.
Maybe some reinforcements later in the season. Playoff time.
Yeah.
Both in AAA. Ryan Philbrick too. He's a pitcher. Looks good.
Yeah, I think that's one of those things where I might pull some of those guys up and filling up reliever roles.
Yep.
So I like my team this year. I like my chances of making the playoffs again. I don't know if I will be anywhere as close as I was last year, but I hope so.
Yeah, well, we'll see how the rest of the division looks. If anybody's improved much. I don't think I'm much of a threat, but we'll get to that in a minute. I think the next team is the San Diego Seals. There's Alex. Take a look at his roster this year. In the last few years, I feel like it's been you and Alex battling out for the division. I think, how much did you beat him by last year? He had 97 wins, I think.
Yeah, I had 106 wins last year.
Oh, you were really good. Yeah. You took that division pretty easy. So Alex finishing in second place. And his team was pretty strong as well in terms of pitching department. He's got some good offensive pieces too. And he's still pretty deep, I think, right? What do you guys think?
Yeah, I like his catcher, Jim Green, Bill Bryce, all solid players. You can't forget Craig Robinette. Although he did take a little bit of a dive last year.
Yeah, I mean, he's got some of the bigger stars.
Yeah, I think
With Jim Green and
yeah,
Bryce.
ton of star power on this team. Mike Wilson
Mike
is
Wilson,
a really good hitter.
Yeah.
And Joe Butts is a pretty strong number 2 starter as well.
Glenn Marks finally had that breakout season last year too in the catcher position. Like he took a big leap forward in terms of production. He had 330 in the catcher.
You need that.
And Brumley's been a pretty good, right fielder. He's been kind of inconsistent, but last year he had a nice.
Yeah, very inconsistent. A lot of injury history. Miss 2005, but yeah, Alex is another team. His team is very it's a lot of star power for sure, and
I mean, he's got 2-time pitcher of the year, Robinette, at the top of the order, or top of the rotation, excuse me. Joe Butts, his number 2 pitcher, I think, was number 2 in pitcher of the year voting last year. He had a tremendous season.
I really like this team. I think they're going to make the playoffs. I just don't think they have quite as much depth as Spokane.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think his center fielder is like a liability defensively. He's an average player, I think, but like defensively, I don't think that'll get it done in the field.
I think we'll be in a dogfight for the division now. That's my prediction. Does he have any?
I don't know. I think you could take it. I think you could take it somewhat easily again this year. Or I don't know if San Diego's going to be your main competition. It all depends on like how those stars perform. If they have like MVP seasons consecutively, I mean, that can carry any team or the top 2 of the rotation.
Yeah, he's got a couple top 30 or top 50 picks with Jose Rengifo, who's pretty close actually. Probably could start this season if he wanted to. And Ben Kish, he's not ready and injured.
Yeah, Rengifo does look pretty good. He's developing.
Yeah, he could be ready this year. So. Bill Bryce. Yeah, what a nice second baseman there. Wow. He's got quite the infield. Jim Green as well.
And really, like what we see here with the Seals is what we're going to see for a couple of seasons too. Look at his contracts. He's got Craig Robinette tied up for the next 3 seasons. Jim Green for 2, Bill Bryce for 3, Mike Wilson for 3 at least.
Yep.
Heine for 3, Iglesias. So this is the 2008, 9, and 10 of the Seals, unless something bad goes wrong and they go in a different direction. So I think they're going to be a competitive team for the next couple seasons, as long as these guys don't regress or anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. A lot like my team. I think me and him had the similar seasons. I think he might have made the playoffs, but he had a lot of like young guys just pushing themselves in, and they developed well. And
they're not as young as you are, but I mean, it's like 34 in terms of like star power. I guess Padilla is 35. His bullpen, he's got some older bullpen pieces, but his core is 34 or younger.
yeah.
These guys are hopefully going to keep producing at a high level.
Yeah.
Any last thoughts?
No, he's a great team. He's definitely in the running.
Who was number 3 last year?
I don't know. I don't know.
Just block the rest of us out.
I just remember that our division was kind of like
I think
it was me and Alex, and that was.
It was Phoenix.
I believe it was Phoenix.
I was gonna say
it has to be. He's like the only other one that's like close.
Yep. So, Brendan.
He's got my number 1 overall draft pick in the inaugural draft, Mark Berry. I traded him. I like this. I love this guy. I wish he'd come back.
Yeah, I think he might be a future HOFer.
Yeah.
He's borderline.
Phoenix is one of those teams too where he's in the middle of the pack usually, and he usually makes a late season push at the end of the year every year.
Yeah, he was really running the division, I would say, the first couple of seasons of the league. Back when I had a good team, a long time ago, and even into like 2004, 2005, he was just pretty good.
Yeah.
And now you got to remember, he traded away a ton of assets, so the guys he's rolling with now, he's had locked in on big contracts, and he's made some big moves, but I think age is definitely a concern for this team.
Yeah, he's got a lot of old guys, with Mark Berry being one of them, being at 37.
And Christie is about to turn 35, a couple months. And he's got a lot of big contracts, so I don't think there's a ton of wiggle room on this. I haven't looked at his budget. He's got $187 million in salary right now, so he needs these guys to be carrying him pretty hard.
Yes, they do.
I feel like we were maybe a little too nice to the Topaz division. So I'm going to be a little mean and say I think this team might be headed in the wrong direction. It seems like they're kind of on the older side. They, along with me, are one of the only teams with 0 top 100 prospects. And they haven't made the playoffs the last 2 years.
Yeah, I would agree. I think, like anytime you're at the top, like eventually you run out of assets to keep yourself there, and it goes in the direction. I think that's
Yeah,
I don't know if they're there yet, but I don't think they're like as competitive as a lot of those Topaz teams.
Yeah, he was running the Ruby division. He was the runner of. It was you and Phoenix in the beginning of the league, and I think his team was very strong because I think he made believe the championship series, but he lost it two times. Correct? I think he's made it there twice. So I think he's just been able to maintain it. It's just I think he's on the ass end of his window. I think this is maybe his last year before he should probably think about moving on things and.
Well, even this year, we'll see if he can compete with Alex, like in terms of those two teams we've seen, because it's the top two that make playoffs. So, I mean, I'm not sure this is as good as some of the Topaz teams we've seen.
Agreed. I think he's.
We can't.
I think Milwaukee is better than him. I would say Milwaukee's better than him. So yeah, I agree with that.
He's got good pieces though. If he does want to flip that corner and start selling himself, he can do that. But obviously he's going to go into the season. A couple contracts locked up for like the next 3 years. Nate Fried, Danny Favila, Carisia. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it's be interesting to see what he does.
I don't think he has much of a system.
Nope.
Take a look.
Chris Morgan.
Number 217, see if he does anything in terms of development, first baseman type, so not a ton of value. Yeah. All right, should we go on to the next team?
Which would be, was it Golden State?
I think it was San Antonio.
I think it was Oahu.
Was it really?
Yeah, it was Oahu.
Yeah, all right.
You did come in fourth. Well, let's hear about Oahu. What do we think?
74 and 88. Oahu. I have Ben Blackwell. He won't allow me to trade him. I really want to trade him, but
really likes Hawaii.
He loves Hawaii, and we love him. But I would trade him. But yeah, I don't really have much besides that. I have Jorge Valenzuela. He's going to make his rookie debut this season, so I'm optimistic that he'll be a good second baseman. I have Jonathan Prismas, who I got on the Rule 5 draft high. So when your second best brag on your team is a Rule 5 guy, that kind of speaks towards the state of your franchise. I signed Jim Wyatt here in the offseason. He's been an okay guy. Maybe he can do something and rile up the fans. He's extremely popular locally, so
he's got a really.
I'm just thinking mustache. Thinking of the fans in these down years. That's what a good GM does. I think you suck.
I think he was one of the better hitters available in free agency.
Yeah, he put up like 4 WAR last year. Let's see if he can repeat that kind of thing.
Average.
Yeah. So
I think it's the
first base has been a hole for me. One of many. I'm a sinking ship.
You can't get away from Nate Tester, can you?
Yeah, I don't know why I signed him again. He's going to be 36 next year. You can't really play catch. We put up 4 WAR last year. He had a nice season for me, so I shouldn't make fun of Nate.
What's his framing stat? Can we look at that?
Yeah, let's look at. Yeah, that's a good call. I'll look.
Not too bad.
Point.
I thought it was
all right. Yeah, 0.0. Oh no, that's first base.
In 2006, it was
minus 2.6. Minus 2.7 in 36 games. It's not great. But anyways, yeah, Nate maybe play in DH this year. We'll see if I can bring in a catcher way through the season. Because he's literally the only catcher on my opening. Considering that it's 14-day sims, I actually. I'm bad. I'm bad, guys. If anybody wants any paddlers, they're for sale. This is my.
Except for Ben Blackwell, because you can't sell him.
Except for Ben Blackwell, because he doesn't want to play for anybody but me. Greatest. And Jorge Valenzuela, my rookie. Everybody else is for sale. So, looking at my system, should be better than it is. That's all I could say. But I've got some okay pieces.
It should be better than it is.
I've got Jose Davila. I like him. He's got 5 good pitches.
Yeah.
Seems like a pretty nice. Seems like a pretty nice guy.
He knows what he's worth. Looks like.
Yeah. No one's really developed in my system, so Tom Schwartz is kind of getting there as maybe some kind of infielder, maybe.
Yeah, looking at a last place team here, I think.
I'm looking at yeah, you're looking at a 3 because our division's pretty bad. but I am not. This is the first team we've looked at, maybe Nashville as well, where you can just be like, this team's not going to make the playoff. And actually, maybe Phoenix. Now that we've looked at
But
Phoenix,
you did finish in 4th place last year, though, which was surprising.
you know, Ben Blackwell can just carry us. That's all I can say. Played 80 fucking games. He put up 4.2 WAR. So, excuse my f-bombs. Yeah, my team is hot garbage, and on to the next one.
You do make some free agent signings that I usually like. So I don't know if you could like maybe flip Jim Wyatt, or I think there was a
Oh, you know what? I should speak real quick about that. I signed Jose Rosario.
Former Squatch right there.
I gave this guy 4 years. I'm like, 5 years. Oh, surprised to me. I was basically willing to give him the rest of his career here in Hawaii, Bubber, just to be a team leader on my team. His personality. That's how his personality after saying that. It's fucking hilarious. He's been called humdrum.
So yeah, great.
So I'm gonna lead the team with a steady beat of terribleness. Yeah, no, I like that signing. So fuck all.
He's a good guy.
On the next one. Yeah.
Who was 5th? Was it Golden State?
Golden State. I'm not sure if that's true.
Let's find out.
It was San Antonio.
San Antonio. Let's do it. Look at K's team here. I feel like K is one of those organizations going in the other direction, and mainly because they've just been pretty bad the last couple of years, and there's nowhere to go but up. Right. So.
Yeah.
There's some decent pieces on this team. Terrence Mason, I feel like, was Pitcher of the Year a couple of years ago. And he's still solid.
The 2004 Pitcher of the Year. He's a solid pitcher. He's got Norm Soto.
Yeah, I think he tried to trade Norm a couple of years ago. Stuck with a no-trade clause kind of thing.
Those damn no trade clauses. Gotta make sure we uncheck those, I guess.
But he should maybe, I don't know, a Picante for life. I do like Norm Soto a lot.
Yeah. I like his name too. Hide your wife.
He's got the 4th ranked center fielder in the league, but I don't like this guy. Jeremy Andrews. Tell me why he's the 4th ranked center fielder. Yeah, I guess just because of offense. Is he going to be hitting 300, getting on base like 380 clip, and then like stealing it?
I think he just had a bad
90 bases next year.
It looks like he got injured last year because he only played 75 games last year.
Yeah, 3 months. Good call.
So I mean, because
I feel like
in 2006 he was almost had a 4 WAR. So.
I feel like the ratings really overrate like speed and stealing.
Yeah,
sacrifice
bunt and sacrifice
base running bars. I do think he'll hit well because anyone with like 80 speed and 70 gap, I think, is gonna outperform his ratings. But I don't like him as a center fielder.
Yeah, probably a corner out left fielder, maybe.
Yeah, no, I
play
agree.
Right, but more of a left fielder.
He signed Hoshihito Inagaki. Hoshihito Inagaki, can't wait for
first
Let
baseman.
me get that down.
Yeah,
40.
Really good pickup.
Love that contract too. I think. Yeah, that's a great contract.
I didn't even bid on him because it was the first sim.
That's
This
a great
was like the
contract.
only guy that signed on the first sim.
Yeah, he signed super early. You're right. I remember that.
I offered him a
I
similar.
assumed.
I think I
I
offered
just
him.
assumed it would go multiple rounds and it would get inflated to like 10 million. So I was surprised that he got signed for so low.
Well, I think I offered him more money. I don't get why he went with. He just
Oh,
must have went with San Antonio. So I don't get it. I think I offered. But I didn't get. I don't think I gave him the years though,
uh,
or something like that. I don't know. Maybe I did. 'Cause he's only 22. I remember. I know I threw something at him. So
David Brobeck's an interesting look here. He's literally straight out of the 2007 draft. Have we looked at him?
wow, look at this guy.
He was drafted last year. He's 45 of 80 right now.
4th overall too.
He got 70 contact and gap on. This was the 4th overall pick last season.
Wow.
yeah.
Personality,
I really like
perfect
that there's
skill
more
set to
college.
succeed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I really like that there's more college age guys that just like go into the majors right away.
yeah. David Opie Brobeck.
Love the name.
I think this
too.
team is really headed in a good direction. I'm very optimistic about
For
this
sure.
team.
Matt Case.
Like this would be my dark this season of just like I'm not being a great team or catching Spokane or San Diego necessarily, although
It could happen.
absolutely, yeah, no,
Step
absolutely.
in that right direction.
I think they're just as much. Yeah, I think they're just as much on the bubble as some of those other Topaz teams. We
Topaz
talked about,
teams,
like
agreed.
Louisville.
Agreed. Yeah, I think they have a shot this
The
year.
other one, St. Louis maybe, Virginia, those ones.
Yeah, I agree with that one. I agree with that. 100%. By the way, his logo, the best. Love that logo.
I like the Scrapples. I'm partial to that one. This is
I
a good
like
one.
I like Barry Pup on this team as well. This guy led the league in appearances last year. He's been a solid piece. 24. Just got him on the back end for a couple of years. Stays healthy. Pretty much no injury history.
Yep. Does he have any prospects? Victor Perez. He's not quite ready yet. An injured guy that's.
Yeah, he's number 5 prospect.
Yep.
Trending up in the ratings.
And it looks like they're all in their 20s, which I really like.
Yep, I do too.
Everybody enjoy it now before 25.
Yep. No, I think
Roger Chirambolo. Yeah. I mean, he's got a super deep system, 2,500 prospects. He's definitely in good shape. I agree with both of you.
I think the Picantes are on the way up. On the next
Who
team.
is next? Is that Golden State this time?
I think it's Golden State this time because that was
Yes.
5th, right? Yeah, we were right. Yeah, I knew it. So,
All right, what do we think of Johnny's team season in the league? Taking over for Clayton. Definitely had a project on his hands.
Yeah, I think he's definitely got a project, and I don't think he's anywhere
Best shape.
near fixing it yet. So, I think he's got a couple seasons to go.
Jesse DeVole. He's a nice little piece on first baseman, obviously, but this guy will have value for years to come, I think, with that personality and just the fact that he never gets injured and he can slug it.
Yep, I like that guy.
Seems like a lot of people wanted Ben Carruthers. Maybe he could trade him.
Yeah,
He's
he looks like he has
number
some
one starter, it
potential.
looks like.
It's a worrisome number one starter, for sure.
Yeah, I mean,
I honestly think
I
this
think
guy's
this
a
is
bullpen
definitely
guy.
a project.
I think this guy would be good in the bullpen side. Like, I'm not sure he's a starter. I don't know. He's got the fourth pitch. It's a changeup. He's going to throw the other three pretty good.
He could be a good starter. I think could be. He could be a starter. He's got good enough movement where he can only use those 3 pitches.
This is the type of team you trade to win a lot.
Yeah, he's a player you trade. He's like a good back end piece. He's definitely a good back end piece for another team, in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't know. David Stevens
I think it's
is a guy with potential, a 22nd round pick in 2000. And he's a lefty. And he's never been injured. So those are the 3 things I like about him.
Wow, 22nd round pick. That's crazy.
I think this new GM is in. They'll really have a chance to prove their chops, I think, with this team. I don't think they have a ton
Not yet.
to work with. And their farm system isn't ranked very high either. I think it's a really tough spot.
I think he picked it. I think he had a project on his hands when he picked up the team. So.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's not anything he's done.
It's gonna be a multi-year project. Golden State can turn it around, and he's exported like consistently. So I think it's on its way to recovery. I think John.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what he does. It will be nice to have a more hands-on GM of this team.
Yeah, I'll say the whole Ruby division right now is been exporting at a pretty high clip. So I think everybody's really active and I think also, Chris, I'm gonna have you call a game randomly and announce that middle reliever real quick.
Which one?
Fakhreddin Devletashvili.
Yeah, the middle reliever is.
Oh, I think I got the end of that one wrong. I think Devletashvili. So close. That's a great name.
That is.
Was he one of the international guys this year?
He's American.
He knew.
I love it. From Hagerman, New Mexico.
He's a Rule 5 draft pick as well.
Oh yeah, Rule 5 guy. Third round of the Rule 5.
I wish him the best of luck.
Yeah, hopefully he's a stud.
Yep.
We have to. He's going to be the guy.
Trade him to a playoff team.
He's going to be pitching the final game for the big league championship. And we're going to have to say his name.
All right, what do you think, Golden State?
I think it's not a good team, but wrong one. Not a good team, but they got a project ahead of them, so they got pieces to work with. So, your thoughts, Paul?
He does have a nice system. He's starting to build it up. He's top 500. Decent. In terms of depth, right? So.
I would watch your Rule 5 guys because I think he's going to be very active in the Rule 5.
Yeah,
he has a lot of room for improvement.
Yeah. That first Rule 5, or that first, not just Rule 5, but round of waivers. Like when waivers drops after that first sim, and
He can make a killing.
Roster, yeah. It's where us bottom feeders go. For greatness. But yeah, Louis Perez, I like him. System. Not the best fielder, but really great offensive bars. Looks like he was just a minor league contract. I don't know how he got this. Drafted in the Rule 5 draft. And then released back. Okay. But
On to the last person in the division.
Yeah, let's do it.
That's Vancouver. I'm just doing deduction here. With his main top guy with Andy Kerrigan, who's definitely regressed hard.
Yeah, it's kind of a sad story.
It is at 28 as well. So
I think it drove the previous GM that
probably.
Andy Kerrigan collapsed.
Drive me
But yeah,
mad
he
too.
was
He was the man.
It was almost like the it was almost like the Andy Kerrigan. The dude was dominant.
He was dominant in 2001, 2002, and 2003. Yeah, you couldn't stop this guy.
Bob's been another GM that's been, like super active on the export rate. He's he's just been all over making changes to his team, so I think he's maybe going to be able to be a bit more competitive as we move forward here. I don't know if he's there yet. His team looks a little
got to turn this team around because
a little underwhelming at the moment, right?
I mean, it's another project, but I feel like he had a lot more to work with when he took over. He actually has like a good farm system, so I think he's probably a little closer than Golden State to turning things around.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, and if you think about Pete Spooner, I mean, he's one of the better shortstops, I think, in the league, and he's a young guy. He's 27, but he's like at the beginning of his career here, so it's a good position to be able to build around. And
yeah, I'm a firm believer too. Like I'm a really big on the defensive shortstop. It doesn't matter what their offensive bars are, but he's got the defensive bars, and he looks like he's able to hit. So
yeah, that's hard to find.
It is very hard.
Sal Guzman, I miss you. He was so good for me for a minute, but yeah, I don't know. He's got some pieces. Not really committed super deep on any salary except for that Kerrigan salary that predates him. I guess Carranza's locked up for quite a bit, but Carranza's pretty good. I could see someone picking him up in the right deal if he wants to pick up some assets for him. I would re-sign Pete Spooner. It looks like he's on an expiring contract. Asking for. I like him as a piece, and everything else, right? Who knows?
Yeah. I don't know. It depends on which direction he wants to go with his team, I guess. But if he's young and he's going to be able to keep up that defensive rating and hitting at shortstop, yeah, I'd take him.
I would say if you look at his system, he's got one guy that's right there on the verge of maybe being a major. Who knows if he's holding him back just because of the state of the team, but John Snyder looks really good. I would say he's a little different. He's got 5 pitches. He's fastball. Is that interesting?
What's his name? John Snyder. There we go. Took me a minute to find him.
Yeah, I think he's ready. It almost might hurt his development if he doesn't come up.
Yeah, I'd put him up. If he's got a 50 and he's better than some of your, if he's got a better overall than some of what you got already in there, he should be in there. Get him in there.
And he's got 2 top 10 prospects, so another good-looking. Well, Elijah Adam, I don't know where you play him. They're both far away. Let's just put it that way. Neither of them are developed yet, but
you put Elijah at second base, I think.
Maybe. I mean, definitely better than third or whatever. He might just be like a first baseman.
Yeah. No, he's got a good system. I think he's more set off than Golden State. But
I'm gonna put Elijah Adam in the outfield.
Oh yeah, I didn't look at
Just
that.
throw him in left field.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
yeah, actually, yeah, left fielder.
I mean, he's gonna hit though, so you could really throw him. First base, left field, DH.
Yeah.
Should be good either way.
Yeah, up and down the system, most of these guys are a few guys kind of on the cusp, but he's a couple years away. But you're right, he's definitely got a pretty decent looking system. So we'll see where he can take the team. Is that everybody? Is that the end of Ruby?
That's everybody in the Ruby.
Did we make it? Okay. Sweet. What do you guys think? Who wants to start? Michael, I think you went last time. Why don't you go first?
All right. I like. Is it Spokane or Spokane?
I go
What's
with.
the correct way to say it?
I have no idea.
I think it's
Spokane.
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 But now
okay. I like them.
Okay.
Now I'm not sure. I like them to finish first. San Diego, I like to finish second. I really like the direction San Antonio is headed in, so I'll pick them to finish third. Phoenix fourth, Oahu fifth, Vancouver sixth, and then Golden State seventh.
I'll go second here. I'll do the same thing as you did, Michael, and I'll say San Diego is going to go in first, just because of how the Ruby division works. Usually, if you win it last year, you don't win it the year after. So, never had recurring champions in the Ruby division. So I'm going to say it's San Diego, and hopefully we break it. And then I'll say Spokane in second. I agree with you with San Antonio in third. And agree with fourth with Phoenix. I'm going to say Vancouver fifth, Golden State sixth, and Oahu last place because it's just a tradition to put Oahu in last place.
It does seem like a tradition for you. All right. You know what? I'm gonna also pick San Diego first, and I just think you can't break the curse of or the tradition of it changing up the division winner. I think it's a Ruby staple until it doesn't happen. So yeah, San Diego first, Spokane second. Number 3, I do like San Antonio. I think they're going to be competitive all season long. After that, I probably have right now. It's pretty tough for me. I think I do have Golden State 4th. And then I have myself 5th. And I have left Phoenix out. Actually, I'm going to move Phoenix up. And then I think I'm 6th. I think Vancouver's 7th. So that's my prediction.
What's your prediction?
All pretty different on that one. Vancouver 7th. I was 5th, 6th, and 7th. 4th, 6th, 7th for Golden State. So we all think those 3 teams are coming. And Phoenix with 2 4ths and a 5th. San Antonio with 3 3rds, and San Diego and Spokane the top 2 positions.
And my prediction too is with the playoff teams are going to be it's going to be for Topaz. It's going to be Huron. Huron, Kingston, and Milwaukee. And for playoffs for the Ruby, I have Spokane, San Diego, and San Antonio.
I like it. You want to make a guess there, Michael?
Yeah, I agree with that. I think it's going to be. I think the Ruby's on the upswing. I think there's some teams that took a step back in the Topaz. I think we're going to have a more even division this year, 3 from each division.
Be the first time in Fire Conference history, if that's the case.
I'll do the same thing you guys did, actually. So we all have the same 3 winners from the Ruby. We all have San Antonio making the playoffs. and we all have San Diego and Spokane as well. The only difference on the other side, you guys both have Milwaukee, Kingston, and Huron in different orders, and I have Huron, Milwaukee, and Louisville, so I have Kingston missing.
Yeah.
So yeah, cool. All right. What do you guys think? Do you want to go on to the next division? Do you need a break?
Yeah, we could.
Take 5?
Yeah, take 5.
All right.
Sure. Yeah.
All right, here we go. Part 2. Let's wrap things up with the Ice Conference. Back-to-back losers of TBL. I'd proudly like to announce. And the owner of 4 new GMs. We actually had some turnover this past year, so we're going to introduce ourselves to some new GMs and see what we think they're going to do with their teams. So, starting things off, Sapphire Division. Our champion in the Ice Conference was the Somerville Moneyline. And not a new GM, one of our OGs, JR, led the Moneyline to his deepest playoff run yet. Let's take a look at the Moneyline and see what they're going to look like for the 2008 season.
Looks like another really good team. We can always forget to talk about with Somerville is DJ Marksberry.
Well, are we not going to talk about the curse first of Somerville?
Oh, yeah, the curse of the, he's off and on.
I think this is the year he breaks it, honestly.
This is the year he breaks it, I believe, too. I think this is his best chance yet.
Somerville has never made the playoffs 2 years in a row. Every other year he puts together a great team. It's not on the even years. It's an even year. So, can JR not disappoint his fans? That's the big question, I think. He's got some good pieces, right?
Yeah, he's got DJ Marksberry. We can't not talk about this guy. This guy's a stud. Love this guy.
Yeah, Marksberry is really good. He's been one of the solid starting pitchers in the league.
Yeah, he's that guy that
years.
Always gets the no hitters and all that type of stuff. So, just really good pitcher.
3 different odd years, he was an all-star. But on the even years, he was not. Just pointing that out real quick. I like Keaton Deathridge a lot at the catcher position. He played really well in the postseason. I'm saying his name all the time. With his clutch kind of hitter.
Yeah, I love that name.
His lineup is chock full of lefties and has a switch hitter in the 9-hole.
Oh, I like this kind of player. He plays a lot of positions. Yeah. Yeah, really good.
What do you think there, Mike? What do you think there, Michael?
I think this is a monster of a team. I think they're probably going to win 100 games again. Their number 2, David Konopka, is very good as well, and just talent up and down the lineup. That's interesting that they have so many lefties, though. I wonder if maybe they might be have a little bit of a weakness in a playoff series against a left-handed starting pitcher, but maybe they have really good platoon options.
Yeah, I think they're pretty deep offensively.
I was surprised how deep they were.
Yeah, no superstars maybe if you look at San Diego's team with some of those guys. But I think that's why I always knock on Somerville, because they're not flashy. They're like the Spurs, San Antonio Spurs. They put together, except for no championships. Excuse me. Let's not get out of line. They put together some good teams, but no superstars. I guess the Spurs have some superstars. That's a terrible analogy. I don't know why I went down.
Well, they have some superstars too. They have DJ Marksberry.
Yeah.
It's true. He's the one. Yeah, Jesse Montgomery, the second-rate center fielder.
Jesse Montgomery is another piece too. That's he's young.
He's a defensive wizard. His defense is 13.8 zone rating.
Oh man, yeah, he is a defensive wizard.
24.
In the championship, I think he got hurt the first game making a throw or something. Really?
Yeah.
Like that.
Yep. Yamashita turned out to be an okay pickup. International guys, I think. Maybe not.
Minor league free agent signing. I like this guy because he plays a lot of positions.
Entered the big league as free agent in Japan, so I was right. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. They're going to be good again this year. What do we think of their prospects? Anything that sticks out?
He's got the number 10 guy,
Number-
Owen Singleton.
Yeah, he's coming up.
He's almost ready, too. Well, yeah.
He's got 6 pitches.
Wow.
All of them look pretty good. Even the changeup's coming in.
That's the one.
Future Hall of Famer.
Looks like this guy's going to have a lot of control issues, but
Yeah, let's hope that comes in a little bit better than that, right?
yeah.
So, if you can get that to 45, I love this guy. Probably love him at 40. Cool.
We got another guy, Soneville, but he's not anywhere close. Dennis Hoy, left fielder. This guy looks interesting and could potentially come up this season or next season. Year away, possibly. Gets his contact up, probably. He's at that like age limit where you should think about what he really is going to be.
Yeah, he's got the range to play corner, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, this is a great team. I think if the curse doesn't happen, this will be the year he makes back-to-back playoff appearances. So.
Well, and he's one of those teams that's benefited not completely blowing up his system.
Yes. Yes.
In the start of this thing, a lot of teams were trading for assets.
Yeah, because the Sapphire division was in the beginning of the league was the division. It was so.
All right. Any last thoughts on Somerville?
No, great team.
Yeah. I think one of the best teams in the league.
Number 2 last year
Montreal, right?
was the Montreal Machine. Yeah, Tim's team.
They held on.
Tim was our 2005 champion.
Correct.
Unfortunately.
He's been.
Unfortunately, you had to remember, rub it in, huh?
And he's been, the organization. I think they're all under Tim actually. I think has been to the postseason 5 years.
Yes, yeah, he did take over the team. I think in 2005, the year he won it.
No, I mean he's been to 5 playoff appearances.
Yeah.
So I think he took over in 2003.
I don't remember when he took
I think
over.
he won. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
Probably are.
Maybe he took over in 2000. Who knows? He'll tell us maybe
I
someday.
think he took over in
if he listens to
2005.
this. Do you think so? He won this first year?
Doing the championship. Yeah, because I think wasn't he the GM that wasn't sure about doing the championship podcast because he had just.
He didn't do a chip. No, 5 guys. I'm positive. 2004.
Might have been 2004. Might have been the year before.
No, he won 2005. Let's stop talking about this.
Yeah, we're done.
Montreal won in 2005. New York won in 2004. It doesn't matter. But he didn't win in his first year. I think he won in his. I'm almost positive about that because Chuck won in his first year, and that was the first time.
Gotcha.
Maybe
So-
that's what I was thinking of then. Yeah.
I think he won. He joined right before the 2004 season. That settles it. On to the next thing. which is that I like his team. He still has that championship medal. He's been in the playoffs. He won 95 games last year. He was a good team.
Good team. Yeah, if I remember correctly, too, he was injured at the end of the year last year, so he limped his way to the playoffs. Wow.
Well, yeah, like Steve came up on him and definitely continued to make it competitive. Somerville had it pretty much the whole way last season.
Yeah.
Matt Mace is kind of devved down a bit from where he was. And I feel like he's on a pretty he's expiring, but he's on a $22 million contract this year.
Yeah,
He made some mistakes in signing that we kind of joked about last year, but he's got Duck Breast for 4 more years at $12 million.
Oh, yeah.
So the dude's in the minor leagues right now, probably, because he's just going to get injured there too. Yeah, I don't know. I think he could be a good team again this year. It's been good year after year. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think he's probably got second place locked up. I think him and Somerville are going to fight for it. I think Montreal has a good team. I think they got to stay healthy. That's the main part for his team.
Yeah, I think he'll be in second place as well. I just don't think he quite has the starting pitching this year to challenge for first. And Somerville has such good starting pitching that I think I would pick them to finish first.
Yeah.
Steve Moss is probably one of the best hitters in terms of his production.
Yeah,
So
tons of
40 homers a
talent,
year.
tons of offensive talent.
Yep. Yeah, the pitching's not super deep.
No. But
I mean, much like last
he's got a good
previous
bullpen.
seasons, he's got one of the best bullpens. Exactly. Yeah.
Got a really good bullpen. That's all that matters.
Maybe the best in the game.
Probably,
right?
I would agree with that. He's probably the best I've seen and best team I've seen.
I mean, he's got 3 or 4 guys that could be legit closers.
Oh yeah. And he's also another one of those teams in the Sapphire division that held on to his prospects as well too, and picks. So he's also very well in the having players on the up and up. Like he's got Ethan Carter here, who's pretty darn close to being ready. Same with Josh Hutchins as well. Another
He's got an okay system. He's definitely started to finally deplete that system. You know, he's got.
Yeah.
And I think his window's still open.
I agree.
Who would be up next?
That would be Washington.
Washington, that's right.
Oh,
Steve, finally making the postseason.
How could we forget?
By the way, the preseason predictions really like mine, and they really like Washington.
I see why. It looks like a really good team.
He has built some good teams year after year. It's been the injury bug that's kept him out other years. Just barely missed the playoffs with some pretty brutal injuries, but he's one of the more dangerous teams, I think.
Yes, I agree.
This year?
He's got another good team coming this season.
I would expect him to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got I like his team position rankings. He's got a lot of green, a lot of blue, and not a lot of red or orange on there. I only see one red with John Herring there. So I like this team.
Yeah, I mean, you got to highlight Jason Kohler when you look at this team. Led the league for 5 straight seasons. Led the league on base percentage for 4 straight seasons.
And led the league in walks too. Holy smokes! Last 3
5 straight seasons. 5 seasons.
That's crazy.
Every year he's been in the league.
Got that vision.
I mean, that's amazing. He's 28, 27, excuse me, 28, no, 28. He's almost at 700 walks. So, I love that guy. Albert Prejean, he mentioned trading for him in his preseason opening day. So he'll get a full season in Washington. We'll see.
Zachary Fast. His name equates to what he can do, so he's fast. And he's a
Javier Jame. That's Padler after the trade. He pitched pretty well. He's going to be in the 2 spot.
Great personality.
John Cloudis doesn't really look like.
I think the one thing that's held him back, maybe the last 2 years, the starting pitching wasn't quite there. I do like Javier Jaime,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm not sure about and I think he's resting some of his top guys in spring training. But I'm not sure about Angel Morales and Derek Levitt, Bobby Law, some of those guys who are the back end of his rotation.
Yeah. I mean, you definitely got some question marks.
But I think
I have Brent
it's-
Myers, Craig Thatcher, Rod Sanchez,
okay.
Jeff Freeman, Javier Jamie, and John Cloudis as the starter. I'm not sure about Cloudis being your number one, but
Javier is one of those fragile guys too.
yeah,
So,
I was gonna say
getting a
that
full
Javier Jamie's
season out of him, you just gotta hope it's out there because he gets injured a lot.
I think it's enough to get him to the playoffs, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love Fred Cox. This guy has got ridiculous bars offensively. 15th pick in 2003. Like the offensive bars there. This is like Ricardo Box again. And now he's reincarnated as Fred Cox. That's actually fucking brilliant. That's fucking brilliant. I bow to you out of the park. Well done on that one. El Chamquito. Fred El Chamquito Cox. Great. But yeah, no, he looks like the real deal, and Steve finds some.
He's the number one rated center fielder. So.
Is he? Yeah. The defense doesn't look great, right? But
he's got enough range though. I think he was I don't think he had negative zone rating last year.
Yeah, 40 games, it was positive.
As long as that zone range is good, positive, I keep him there.
Put that guy out there, Zach Fast, who has similar bars, and top speed in the league, led the league in steals last year, back-to-back seasons with 70 steals, so he actually stays healthy as well. You never find a fast guy. This guy is an Iron Man. He's never been injured.
Better knock on some wood here.
Hey.
There's no curse anymore. We aren't Baltimore anymore.
I like his pitching too. I mean, his catcher. So, I like this team up.
Yeah, I do too. I think he should make the playoffs again, barring any situations that could stop it, like injury. But
yep, he's got a super deep system. So when I actually say everybody to become a better team, Baltimore for the longest time didn't make any moves. And kind of missed the playoffs a lot. They made a move last year, made the playoffs, but they still have a ton of prospects to call upon in the years. So, good stuff.
Yeah,
any last thoughts on Washington?
I like the direction they're headed. Above
mediocrity. I'm glad they broke the curse.
Honestly, Steve's sneakily been one of the better GMs in the league. I mean, he's only made the playoffs once, but he's always been right there. And now, yeah, he's broke the curse, and some of those young guys look, just as a combo, look just like they could be really dominant. So, I don't know. We'll have to see if I'm jinxing the shit out of them. We'll tell.
Only time will tell.
Who's up next?
I want to say
I think
Philly?
It's Boston? No, yeah, Philly. Philly, you're right.
Fifth. Yeah. No, they were fifth.
No, we need
Was it New York?
Boston was bottom.
It was Boston.
Was Boston.
Really? Damn.
I mean, there were 4 teams that lost 100 games.
Well, I think Boston and Philly were the same record. So you're right. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yep.
They tied.
I was close then.
So yeah, why don't we do Boston?
Let's
I
do
think
Boston because they're
Boston's
technically
a good
fourth.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I like what Jack's done this offseason. He's super aggressive, so I think he'll be kind of fun to talk about.
Yeah.
He's got the most promising team, maybe, in the Ice Conference.
Yeah, I think
I put out the bold statement when you're done.
he's made moves this year and he hasn't made the playoffs yet. So I think it's time for he's had a lot of low end draft picks, so I think it's time for them to start to come to fruition, I guess.
Of all teams, he added the most wins above replacement this offseason. He added Zach Coster, which I think is a stud on both sides of the ball.
It's a big time addition. He paid a lot for it, but it's worth it.
Yeah. And he has Malik Roach, who's the number one prospect, and looks like he's major league ready.
Yes, it does.
Do you play Malik Roach at catcher? Put him.
What's his other? It would depend on his other ratings. Could he play somewhere else?
Not bad.
He cannot. It would be that or DH most likely.
Ratings. Here we go. First base or DH?
Like, is it worth sacrificing the pitching staff to have that bat at catcher? I don't know. It's a tough one. He's like a wicked good player.
Yeah.
I have a strong preference for good catcher ability, but I think his bat plays so well, and he'd be so much more valuable as a catcher that I would play him there.
Yeah, I think you're right. At least while he's young. You know.
Yeah.
Because if he's a first baseman, then those hitting ratings aren't quite as exciting.
Nick Kennedy is one of the top prospects in the league, the 1-2 overall. He's 50 to 80 now, so he might be right. He looks like he's going to be great at stop. Maybe even better at like second base if you can find a better defensive shortstop.
Yeah, he's definitely he could play short, in my opinion. I'd play him at short.
Not the best personality.
Yeah, he's made some moves. I think he will do better.
I think Boyd Perry has a ton of potential. His number one starting pitcher.
Yeah. Yep. 6th overall pick. Those are great bars. I mean, he's only got the 3 pitches. I mean, they're solid.
Yeah, if everything's solid around there, you only need 3 pitches.
He came up and he had 16 starts last year, and he was really good. So. Yeah. Minor injury history, but nothing too.
He picked up Tim Johnson as well.
I know Jack
up in the position rankings because. Oh no, he does.
I was gonna say, I know Jack's thirsty for the playoffs. He's ready for a push. I think he was smart. He took his time with some guys last year. He didn't play. Some of them are entering their sophomore year. Here he's got some freshmen coming up, so to say. It'll be interesting to see what this team does.
I don't think he's going to quite make it this year.
I agree with that.
I'd agree.
I think he can increase fan interest, though. He can make more money to spend in free agency. So I think it's smart of him to kind of make some free agent signings or trading for Zach Coster and starting his push now.
Yeah. I mean, so Malik Roach and Matt Clark are the prospects in the league. So, he's moved in the right direction in terms of doing that, I think.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's definitely moving in the right direction. He's not going to be, because he's been kind of in the dumpsters of the Sapphire division for a while. I think last year was this is the best he's done, I think, in this division. I know
It's not like he's improving on a 70-win team either, right? He's improving on.
He's improving on a 50-win team, so he's definitely. I think he's moving in the right direction with his team. And I agree.
Yeah, and I think this division. Yeah, but I mean, he was one of 3 teams that lost 100 games in this division last year, so I think this is enough to finish maybe behind Washington in this division.
Fish fourth again. Yeah, I'd agree with that as well.
Yeah, you guys are giving away your standings order.
I mean, I am.
Who says Washington's finishing third?
Oh, my bad.
No, yeah, I agree. I don't think they're going to be it this year, but they're a few years away, and I don't think they're playoff droughts.
Next team.
Look at
That was
Who
Philly.
that? Oh yeah, Philly. Dan. Let's see Dan's team.
I think this is another team too that is not on the ups right now, but I think he's rebuilding at the moment because I think he has a lot of first-round draft picks in our draft we have right now.
Yeah, I think you're right. He's got a lot of picks. He's finally turned around. But
he traded Jim Green and George Reed. I think he got a pretty big return for both of those. So I think after this draft, he'll definitely be in a lot better shape long term as far as like the farm system rankings.
Yeah, but I think right now, as of right now, he is on the bottom of the Sapphire division.
I think we'll have a little competition.
Yeah, with competition.
With the team in the Sapphire. Yeah.
That's I guess a blunt way to put it. Yeah, because the other division is really, really good. It's a lot like how it's been going for us with the Jade. I forgot the name of it. The Jade division.
I think
they're really strong. They've been strong for the past couple of years. So
yeah, I think he can find some trade value. For the most part, you're right. It's a dumpster fire. Gabe Whittington, though, it's not a terrible player. I like Miguel Lugo, the starting pitching free agent signing that he got. Wondering if looks like you gave him a no trade clause. So that's maybe he's just trying to put butts in seats. He's only got fair popularity though, so I don't know what the strategy is there. Maybe he is. I don't know what he's doing there. But yeah, I think he's trying to like flip some still, maybe continue. A pretty good system right now.
you got Jason Anthony. He's not close, but he's getting there. He's Devin. He's got Oscar Marquez as a lefty. He's pretty close as well. Looks like a strikeout team, though.
Jason Anthony was one of those guys that didn't get signed in the draft.
Trade with Huron.
He's had an interesting start to his career.
First-round picks for me.
He was originally a first-round pick for Nashville, 2002.
Wow.
Then he went back to school. Came back out in 2005. Didn't get signed.
Yeah, I think this team is work in progress at the moment. The first ever TBL champion.
Yeah, that's right. Dan did win the championship. So yeah, I think he sold. So he's done a pretty good job rebuilding from what he's been at.
Going to the next
On
team.
to the next. Yeah, let's do it.
Which would be Lehigh, or is it New York?
It would be Lehigh. New York was our number one overall this year.
That's right. That's what I thought. And I think
so Lehigh last year finished 57-105. And this is our first new GM here to join, JP. JP has a pretty good track record from what I know of him so far. He's in the other league that I'm in. He's got a couple championships to his name, so he's not unfamiliar with the building process of a franchise. So he's going to need that skill because the Lehigh Valley Scrapples are not good. They don't have a lot of depth.
Yeah, they definitely, they're not looking hot right now. Nobody in the top
I think
10.
I think he'll give Philadelphia some competition for maybe last place.
Yeah.
Good farm system though. I feel like he has some stuff to work with.
Yeah, Ray Silvio. I like him. Mario Rubio.
Yeah, he picked up a decent closer that he's probably flip at the deadline.
Not that owners matter, but Lehigh's owner is pretty awesome.
Yeah, owners don't matter, unfortunately. Harry Richardson, this guy looks pretty good. He's 23 years old. Looks like he's on the show, but if I know this GM, I'm going to guess he's going to be on the trade block at some point because I don't think the window for. I don't know. There's a couple guys that are close, but here for this team
Chad
for a couple
Carpino
years, dude.
Looks pretty good too.
What'd you say? Oh,
Chad Carpino looks like a pretty good. Got some
gets on
potential.
base. Looks like it'd be his rookie year if he's playing.
They've definitely, if they want to make some trades, they've got some pieces to work with.
Yeah, I guess you're right. There's some maybe ready talent.
Adam could probably get a pretty good return.
Yeah, I think he's in a tough spot. Definitely rebuilding.
Well, he was the number 2 overall pick this year too. Who did he pick up?
Who did he pick?
These draft notifications here. Roland Cook. Roland Barber Cook. Pretty good. 4 pitches. Good personality. Stuff.
Lefty.
College player.
Yeah, a lot to like.
So, yep. Again, I know this GM's going to be dangerous, so can't see it now, but in a couple of years here, Scrapples will become. Will be competitive. Ugh.
Well, hopefully
choking on some jerky.
Good thing is he won't be competitive this year. So who knows? Though.
It might be the last few years we see the Lehigh Valley Scrapples. They might be rebranding.
Yeah. Takes 3 seasons for a new GM so you have to wait at least 3 seasons, but he may retire it. He may keep it. We'll see.
That might fit his competitive window. In 3 seasons, he could.
That's true. He may want to rebrand. Yep. Give some foreshadowing here.
The breakfast meats.
No more breakfast meats.
I want to have. Right. I've never had Scrapples, but I want some Scrapples after they've always talked about it. So I'm gonna have to figure out how to get some.
Whoever wins the championship this year, I'm gonna mail them Scrapples.
Mail them Scrapples. Mail order Scrapples.
It won't be refrigerated, but.
All right.
On to the last team.
Last team. That's our New York Griffins. Our 2004 TBL champion. Matt, one of our OGs, finally went south last year for the New York Griffins. And it was kind of by design. He started trading away pieces real early.
Yeah.
He didn't want to run it back with that roster. And so he started that process early.
And I think he's a better off team.
Will they?
I don't think he's going to be last place in this division. Going by his lineup right now.
No, yeah. This does not look like a, what was it, 112 loss?
Yeah, team.
Whatever it was, team.
So. I don't think, I don't think he's going to be going as far bad. Got Gary Smith.
He's got Gary Smith locked up for 4 more years. Paying him a lot of money. But he is a decent player. So probably worth it. Wants him to be a New Yorker for life. And the dude is, possibly a Hall of Famer. He's got 42.5 WAR already in his career.
Yeah.
Alex Lopez has kind of declined a little.
Well, you usually do at the age of 34, but...
Yeah, but he's had a really nice
got-
career as well.
Only got 1 more year on the books for him, so let's see what happens with him after that.
Yeah, I feel like he's just kind of like a really old guys are mid-30s. And he's going to go into a rebuild. It's going to be bad for a couple years. That sums up his team, right?
Yeah, he's definitely in rebuild mode, and I think he's got a quick turnaround time. I don't know what he's got for prospects.
Yeah, his system's super shallow.
It is really shallow. Yeah, he's only got like 3 guys
But
at the top. 2
remember,
guys at the top
he did. Yeah, he did just draft the 1-1 though.
Yes. He
So
did,
I think that guy's going to land to be top prospect in the league.
Yeah.
If you want to look at him real quick, his
What was that? Roach.
Ryan Roach. And he had another pick. He traded up today. So we should actually look at both of these first.
Who's the other guy he picked up? Jeff O'Malley.
That's right. So Ryan Roach looks...
I think Ryan Roach can pitch as well.
Oh, can he really? Good ratings.
Yes, he can. Wow.
Huh. 4 pitches.
Could be like a... I think it could be better than... Who was the other one? Zach Costa that we were looking at? That's 2.
Wow.
Looks like this guy could legitimately be a good outfielder and not just like a DH type.
That's true. I mean, he's got the range, right? Yep. He's a college senior, so he's college level. It's a great pick.
Yeah. Yeah. Bats and throws lefty. The lefty 2-way player. Wow.
Let's look at O'Malley, too. Jeff O'Malley. Just curious, because he did trade up. He gave away a 4th in this year's draft for O'Malley, and he moved up 11
He moved up
spots.
a lot. That was a good trade.
Yep. I think he moved up from 28 to 17. Another good defensive, possibly outfielder who can hit.
Yep. He's a true center fielder, I think. Not like the best, but he's got the range for it.
Yep. So I think, rebuild begins. We'll see how many years it takes Matt to turn things around and get back to that championship level that he's brought New York to at this point. Yeah. So.
Pretty aggressive rebuild so far, though. I really like what he's done to turn it around.
I've noticed he goes hard in both directions. He's not afraid.
Yeah, he's not afraid.
Aggressive rebuild. When he was in his championship window, he would unload those assets to get what he wanted, and it worked out.
Yeah, he's not afraid to make a move.
That is the truth. Love it. All right, that's it. Should I lead off the rankings?
Yes, you should. Yes, you should.
This division, I'm gonna have Washington. I think Washington takes it.
Washington number one.
Number 2. I think Somerville breaks the flip-flop curse. They're gonna take number 2. And then I have, I have Montreal 3, and then I have Boston 4, and then I've got Philly 5. You know what? I've got Philly 6. I've got New York 5, Philly 6, and Lehigh 6.
I definitely differ from you.
All right, let's hear it.
I got Somerville number 1. I think Somerville's got a really strong team.
Right.
I agree with Michael on this one. Number 2, I have Montreal. 3, I have Washington. 4, I have New York. Wait, no. Did I do that right? Yeah, 4, I got New York. 5, I got Boston. 6, I got Lehigh. 7, I got Philly. 7, I got Philly.
Yeah, I'm almost exactly the same. I have Somerville first, Montreal second, Washington third. I'll go with Boston fourth, just because I think they're definitely headed in the right direction. They have a lot of also assets they could move if they want to improve a little more. New York, I have fifth. Lehigh Valley, I had sixth, and then Philadelphia, I had seventh.
Okay. Chris, did you have Philly 6 or Lehigh?
I have Philly last.
Philly last one. All right. Yeah, we definitely varied on that one, so we'll see how it comes out. I believe in you, Steve. Don't prove me wrong.
Putting chicks.
All right, let's go on to the. Yeah, I know. Sorry, Steve. Let's go on to the J division, I guess. Do you guys want to take a quick break before we do this last piece, or how you feeling?
We could push it through it, I think.
Push through? All right, Michael, you good?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right, let's keep rolling then. So.
I'm ready.
All right. Sounds good. So who won the J division last year? I think it was our Las Vegas High Roller.
I think they led the TBL in wins last year with 107.
They did.
One more
for the second straight year.
One more than me.
Yep, for the second straight year, Zach's led the Las Vegas High Rollers to 105 plus wins. But this year, short exit in the playoffs, unfortunately. But this team, I continue to think, is the best team in our league. It's just about, can he break through? I think he's a no doubt playoff team.
Yeah, I
and
agree.
He might be the best team.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, I think it's the best team. Just looking, I mean, you can just look at the player rankings and see how strong it is.
Yeah.
Just stars up and down the lineup. They're very young too, and great pitching as well. I think they have the second ranked pitching staff in the league. Yeah.
So.
I think they had some bad luck last year in the playoffs. Anything can happen in a short series, but I think they're the best team in the league.
Yep, totally agree. I mean, just look at the player rankings page again. Not fully indicative of everything, but I mean, there's who's got the top players at certain positions.
Verdugo
top 5 in
40 home runs over the past 3 years.
Yeah, it's crazy that Verdugo doesn't have a. Because he mashes. He's so good.
And he's got last year's Rookie of the Year in Sean Hall.
Yep. Sean Hall had a monster season last year.
Aaron Harrison, another.
I don't know if Las Vegas feels the same way, but I feel like we're kind of kindred spirits because we took over, I think, the same season, and we were ranked number 1 and 2 in farm systems. And I don't think either one of us had very successful franchises at the time.
That's true. Yeah, no, both these franchises built the system up. It works. It works if you take the time to do it. Now you guys have been dominant teams in the league here. He's got Jeremy Dunn coming in here. Last year just came at the end of the season, 46 innings pitched. This guy looks as good as it gets.
Mm-hmm.
They're really great numbers last year. Yeah, both sides of the ball. You're right. This team, and the other thing about this team, like he literally doesn't have a 30-year-old on the offensive side of the ball.
It's crazy.
I know, it's crazy.
He has one 30-year-old on the pitching side. This team is maybe the youngest team in the entire league.
Youngest and best team, and oh man, that's just so. Las Vegas is here to stay.
Maybe. Hey, we got to punch some holes somewhere. Maybe that's his weakness. Maybe he doesn't have that experience to win a championship. He needs to bring in a vet from a team with a ring.
I don't know if you look at that one player ranking that's not like blue. That Jim Bennett might be his only weakness. He's a pretty good defensive shortstop, though.
He's just there to play defense. Let's be real.
Right. Yeah. Right.
No, you can't. Nothing can go up the middle. There.
Yeah. No, Zach's done a really great job building this.
And maybe having a lefty like Jeremy Dunn could be like the X factor. It seems like a lot of the top teams in this league are very lefty heavy as far as their offenses, like Somerville and Montreal. So if he matches up with them in the playoffs, that could be a big difference maker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Not much to say about this team other than that it's pretty much got this division on lock in my eye.
Yeah. And the scary thing about Las Vegas is pieces in the system, so they haven't like completely cashed this thing yet. Brian Garza's not far away, a right fielder. Probably not a right fielder, probably first baseman. Actually, looking at that range. Maybe an infielder, actually, looking at that. He could play third base, right? Yeah, oh wait, he is a third baseman. So weird. He's set to right field, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, he definitely can play third base. I was looking at the wrong one.
I wonder if he's just keeping him down to start the season. Somewhere else, just who knows. He looks great. So, yep, on to the next one.
Was it Galveston? Or was it, who was number 2?
Galveston or Fort Collins, right?
It was Fort Collins.
Fort Collins, 94 wins, 68 losses last year. They were good. They had a real bounce back season after season two straight years, but I think 3 straight years, but they made the playoffs the first 4 seasons. My math's wrong. So yeah, they missed 2 straight seasons. Back at it last year, had a pretty good team up and down the lineup. Another team that kind of surprised me. I didn't think they would be as good as they were. I thought they'd be competitive, but they were pretty much no doubt playoff team throughout the season.
Yeah.
Looks like they added Phil Crawhorn.
Yeah, you mentioned that, and I love the pickup. He's 42 years old, but he's still putting up numbers, so why not? $25 million is kind of a lot for a 42-year-old. Just pray he doesn't fall off a cliff, right?
Yeah, that is a lot. One thing I noticed about this team, though, he's got a lot of in the position rankings, at least, like a lot of like middle of the range guys, but no like real star other than Phil Crawhorn. But I don't think Phil Crawhorn's going to hold out that long. But who knows? He could be one of those old guys that just sticks around forever.
I think Jamie Lindahl could be a future star as well. He was a rookie last year, I think. The number 4 hitter. And
he had a 4.4 WAR last year, so
he can play the outfield. And Tyler Hill, he's kind of close. He didn't really play great at the end of the season when he got called up this year, but he's again probably not an outfielder with 45. It's tough. There's so many guys with that profile.
I like the top of his rotation though. Jimmy Adam Chick,
or whatever.
Mike Anderson, Sam Hunt all look solid. Andre Crawford is a former prospect of mine that has a lot of potential. That was a disaster of a trade for me. I think I just non-tendered. Yeah, Brian Ole. I just non-tendered him. It was a 1-for-1.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does have a system. Look at that. Looks like it's close. So yeah, Fort Collins is on the up. I don't think they're going any. I think they're going to stick around the middle of the pack here a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see what other teams do in this division. Again, we've got 3 new GMs in this division, so it's going to be kind of interesting to see what happens with all these teams, like what directions GMs decide, who decides to sell. You just have no idea what the division will be. I agree. I think he's just like a sneaky good GM.
Yeah.
And he's still got a lot of the pieces that he got better with last year, and he's
Yeah.
Number 3, Galveston, right?
Was it Galveston? Let's find out. You were correct. Doesn't have his lineup fully set, but we can make judgments here. This is another team that, this is like the Topaz division. So a lot of good teams that are in the mix of it. I think this is another team that's going to make another good run as well this season.
Yeah, his pitching's deep, right?
I think this is a playoff team. Yeah.
Yeah. He's got somewhat of a deep.
I
can't really tell because it looks like I don't think he. Because I pulled exports, so I can't really see what. I don't think he.
Yeah, if you go to the pitching tab and just like sort of, just got like a lot of guys. He's got pretty good deep pitching. He's got like some standout hitters. I still remember him from the championship run. He was going Galveston lost to Louisville. This guy's name was right. So he's just a stud. Looks like he brought in Mike McGoldrick last year, and Mike McGoldrick had like a pretty nice season.
Mm-hmm.
Any big changes this year? Not sure if he's done.
And Dan Altfilish, I think, was a free agent as well.
Yep. So he get him after a year in San Antonio.
Yeah, I think
this was a team that had really strong pitching last year, but struggled a little on offense. So I think bringing in those guys might help a lot.
Got Eric Ryan, 2006 Pitcher of the Year. He's been pretty phenomenal. He's looking pitched last season, so he's a workhorse on. Get a guy that can go that deep and give everybody else more rest. Bullpen more rest. Good bullpen, one of the best in the game. I say that year after year. So he's really focused on his bullpen.
Yeah, he really is. Really good bullpen.
He did lose Omar Gonzalez, but he didn't really hit for him. I think it was like a pretty league average hitter.
Yep. Yeah, that didn't work out as he looked like, probably. Although he got him for a pretty good price. All right, Michael.
He did. He was attached to a contract of a player that opted out. So
I know. I'm just messing. He's got a really nice system. I feel like he's got 7 top 100 prospects, and
Number 3.
so the train keeps rolling in Galveston. In that sense, yeah, I really like Tim Rohn. Like Tim Rohn's starting to develop. Obviously, that gap power is pretty concerning.
Yeah. How can you have a home run power when you don't have any gap power?
You just hit it straight down the line, dig those poles, I guess.
I think gap power is the least important of all the bars, though.
Yeah, I would agree.
Especially
but I
if
think
he's a lower hitter like he is.
To me, like if any bar gets too low, though, just, I don't know, can have an impact in a weird way. I feel like a Void K is like terrible Void K, but still major league quality. I don't know.
Yeah.
Do either of you guys have any last thoughts?
No, it's a good team. I think he's. I think he's a playoff team. Not sure. Yeah.
I think he's a playoff team, and I think he's headed in the right direction. I think he's going to make the playoffs and continue to improve.
Yeah, he's been there 2 straight years, so he might just be a mainstay, name that we talk about it season. Who's number 4 last year? Was that
New Orleans?
New Orleans? They're 81 and 81.
And it was New Orleans.
New Orleans, we've got a new GM in New Orleans. It's going to be run by Ryan, and Ryan is another from the Skyline League, so he's a pretty veteran GM. He gets to come in and take over a pretty interesting team.
Steve
I
Miller
would
Band.
say. Yeah, the Mudcats have been the Steve Miller Band, exactly. The Mudcats have been really good. They've made appearances in 7 years. Missed last year with a 500 record. But they've got top end pieces and a lot of personality. And
well, it's fixed now, right? He fixed the.
They're happy.
Clubhouse?
Team chemistry is happy. He does have
Let's check that out.
5 selfish players, a couple unmotivated players. Nobody's disruptive though.
Nobody's disruptive anymore.
Yep. So he's done work.
I thought Steve Miller was disruptive. Guess that just went away. They went 500 and they were like,
He's changed his ways.
I'm telling you, some of these guys, yeah. Marcelo Bland as well. Like these guys are only selfish now. They're no longer
strange.
2 wrongs do make a right.
They canceled each other out.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
It'll be
They were both
It'll be
toxic
super
to each other.
interesting to see what direction he goes in.
I agree.
Yeah.
He can do anything. BJ Swart is the best in the in baseball, according to last year. I'll change my opinion this year when he's. But
Yeah, wow.
60 home runs last year, 150.
Yeah, wow.
They were
And
exactly a
he's
500
26.
team last year.
Exactly 500. Yeah.
But they've got some top end talent, so they could go all in or rebuild.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Well, he's to. Swart's getting 27, 40, 40, 45. He could opt out after year 3, but if he does, fucking idiot. So I think you might be stuck with him at 45, 90 million years. Aaron Smith's in a pretty long term, so Noah definitely didn't leave any favors for Ryan in terms of flexibility. That's okay. It's not like these guys are terrible.
No. Just expensive.
Just expensive. Yep. His salary is actually he's got more than, and then he finally gets relief in 2010.
if he does decide to rebuild, he could like retain half those salaries and probably get they'd be very reasonable, and he'd get
Oh,
probably some really good returns for them.
I'm sure. Yeah. So he has a lot of options. He can play with his team. It's not a bad franchise to. Sometimes you get good spin wheels. He actually had two choices. He had this or Atlanta. He said I could never take a team in Atlanta. I'm not going to ask any questions about that. Maybe he had a bad experience in Atlanta. I don't know. But he's now the Mudcats, and he's gonna do some good things. So, in terms of system, pretty shallow system. So, if he did want to do that rebuild, there's good reason to, because he's going to need to rebuild pretty extensively.
Yeah.
Any last thoughts on the Mudcats, guys?
They're like a swing team. They got the star power, but I don't think they. If those players stay non-disruptive, I think they could make the playoffs. I don't think they stay.
I'm gonna have fun watching what they do.
Well, he also inherited really bad pitching.
Yeah.
It's kind of mid.
Yeah, they've always had really good hitting and not good pitching.
Yeah. It's been their kryptonite.
Yeah. Maybe they can match their way to a playoff spot. Maybe we'll see. Who next?
I think it's Atlanta.
Atlanta. Another new GM. We have Sean taking over here in Atlanta, and he's been really active here since we restarted the league. So I'm pretty excited. Haven't met Sean before, I haven't played in the league with him, I should say. So excited to see what he can do here with this team. A complete unknown, we'll say. What do you guys think of his team right now?
Similar place.
Well, Atlanta definitely put him in the right spot.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So obviously the history of the Atlanta Smashers, 6 playoff appearances in 7 years. Last year was the first year they missed. It drove Jason to insanity, and he had to leave the league. Due to that. That's the story I'm sticking with. But he won 2 championships so you can't knock what he did. He had a great run with Atlanta, and he got some great pieces that he's left over here to Sean to be able to play around with.
I think with looking at the team, though, I think it's it's position rankings at least. I think it's a team that's got a lot of talent, but could lack some at the end. So it's the J division, and the J division is going to do what it always does, I think, and just be a really tough division. So
I don't think that's what it always does, but I do hear it.
It has been for.
You're right. It has been really competitive
for a while.
I feel like last year was a bit down, though.
I agree. It was a little bit down last year, but I think New Orleans wasn't as good last year.
I mean, for some reason, they let Washington playoffs. So. But no, I
another team that could go. It could go either way.
It could go either way with them.
The position rankings look nice, but I think when you're all red and orange in all of the pitching rankings, it's not going to go very well.
Yeah.
I think he lost a lot of pitching.
Yeah, this team feels like Ryan's team in the Mudcats now. Got some celebrities on the offensive side of the ball. Their pitching is to be desired. And maybe one of those teams gets hot. Who knows?
Yeah, if I was either one of those teams, I'd probably go into the season and try to compete and see where I end up. And then if they're not in it, they definitely have a lot of some superstar players they could trade and restock.
Yep. Some of the contracts are a little tough. I mean, not terrible, right? He's got a lot of guys on 2-year contracts. Greg Gross is locked up for 4 years. So in terms of who you're working with, sometimes GMs want an expiring contract, sometimes 2-year contract.
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah. I mean, I think similar to other new GM, Ryan, I think Sean has options in terms of what he wants to do, right? Which is always kind of nice when you come into a new league and can make a lot of different choices.
This might be a fun rivalry with the other GM saying he hates Atlanta, and they're both in kind of similar places.
Same situation. Yeah, I'm trying to instantly create some hatred.
That's what really drives a good league: hatred between the GMs.
For sure. Yeah. That's why I hope Chris has a terrible season.
That's why I always vote Oahu to be last place.
Yeah.
And me actually, the funny part is too, me and San Diego, because San Diego is Zeus's brother, so he hit me up and he goes, "Do you think it really drives him crazy that me and him are controlling our division? He sits there in last place and gets to watch it." I was like, "Yeah, but I'm really enjoying it."
All right. Any last thoughts on Atlanta? Do we look at his system? Let's take a look and see if he has any.
Oop, wrong button. He's got the 18.
I'll have my day, Chris.
Yeah, I mean, you're the only one that's made it to the championship so far, but you didn't win it, so.
That's true. He's got some good pieces in his system. It's not like the best in terms of the top end talent, but he's got 22 top 5 prospects, decent depth. OSA doesn't love a ton of these guys. I'm just looking at ratings briefly, but for an overview. But he does have several guys in AAA, so maybe some reinforcements for the big league club. Tony Rivera, Ben Kornbluth, Doug Morris.
Yeah, no, it's I think they're in an interesting spot because, like we said with Atlanta, they've just been in the playoffs here and out, so they could be on the ups or the downs. So I think they're kind of in an interesting spot.
Yep. All right.
I think it's Denver.
We're flying. Who's next?
I think it's Denver.
Tampa Bay. Thank you, Michael. Thank you for being on top of things. 80 and 82. So yeah, one game worse than. Did we skip Tampa Bay?
No, we're doing Tampa Bay right
now. Exact same record. I was just confused because New Orleans was 81 and 81 years ago. So, but yeah, Denver 80 and 82 last year. Jay is trying to turn this thing around. He's also a very active trader, so he's been making moves, that's for sure. I feel like his first swing.
Are we on Tampa or are we on Denver?
I'm sorry. Is it Tampa Bay?
It's Tampa.
Well, we've been going for a while.
Don't spoil it.
Yeah. Let's go to Tampa Bay. And that's our third new GM here in the. So I apologize. Matt, welcome to the league. I made the joke when Matt joined. We needed because now we have 3 Matts, which is fantastic. And yeah, he has a little more of a challenge, I would say, taking over his team than our other 2 GMs in terms of what his team currently has and what he has for assets to kind of move forward. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think it's one of those teams where it's like he's lacking all power, or like just the team. Like just looking at the position rankings, like there's nobody that's really like stands out and goes, "Ooh, look at that!" And it's another team. Like I think it's Omar Ramirez as well. It's his best pitcher.
I mean, I would say it's like 2 through 6 hitters have like great value potential though. Like there's some decent players on his team, even though this is where maybe the team position rankings are deceiving. Right?
Yeah. I think his shiny
Ron
spot
Blackwell.
probably is Ron Blackwell.
Right. Looks nice.
Matt Purdy looks pretty good.
Yep, I agree.
Yep.
Again, probably out of position with his range, but maybe did he have?
And I really like their catcher, Luis Gonzalez. Really strong defense. And can actually hit him.
Yeah, I like that. I like that catcher a lot.
He does look really nice, especially with those ability and arm.
What's his frame rate? Oh, yeah, he's a good frame rate guy, too. Yeah, I like that catcher.
He's won the Great Glove 3 times now.
Yeah.
And Josh Gray, too. I think is a pretty strong.
So there's good pieces on this team. Again, we're looking at an 80 and 82 here in what we have proclaimed to be the best division of baseball.
I think it is.
So they're not a terrible team.
I think it is. Yeah.
Jerry Hash is a captain. He plays center field. Not the best hitter, but I don't know. Not terrible.
I don't like him in the leadoff spot. I don't know, with a 35 contact. But he does look like he gets on base, so.
I don't think Tampa Bay has the same. Oh, go ahead, Michael.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I don't think he has quite the same top-end talent as the two previous teams we just looked at, but it looks like he has a lot more financial flexibility. So he might be able to load up in free agency.
Yeah.
That's funny. I was going to say the same thing about the top-end talent, but I also think more like depth on his starting pitching rotation than some of the other teams we look at, where like their 4 and 5 are a lot weaker. His bullpen, definitely pretty shallow, and that's going to hold him back. But yeah, his bullpen's really, really bad.
Mm-hmm.
But there's some nice pieces on Tampa, and I don't know, what direction would you go? What do you do with this team this year and in the future?
Compete as best you can. We got, even if you don't make playoffs, doesn't matter. You still got a chance at #1.
I mean, honestly, yeah. What do you think, Michael?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big believer in at least giving it 2 months and seeing what a team has, and then making a decision from there. So I would roll the dice.
I kind of agree. I think they're just as strong as New Orleans or Atlanta that we've looked at.
Yeah.
Again, we mentioned not the same top end talent, but overall, as good a team.
Yeah, they're gonna get wins. So.
Was Denver last place last year?
They were.
Yeah.
That's insane. 76 and 86.
I know.
Last place. Yep. Well, let's take a look at the system. I'm sorry.
Trying to rush through Tampa, aren't you?
Tampa. No rush.
I mean, he's
don't
got
love
Josh
their top
Gray.
prospects, but I like a lot of the other people. Yeah, I like this guy. I don't love Colin Shevlin, who's supposedly their only top 100 guy.
You don't love those offensive bars, though?
But
Wait, you don't love this guy? Look at his
He's a two-way player.
pitching. Look at his pitching. This dude's amazing. Are you fucking around with that right now?
Oh, he can pitch too?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I didn't
He's a
realize he could pitch too.
80
Never
pitcher.
mind.
He looks so good as a pitcher, too.
Gotcha.
This guy might be my favorite.
Oh yeah, he's a pitcher.
1-1. I understand why you're saying you don't love him, but now that I'm looking at him, I do love him. He even has a good personality. He does have an injury. Ugh.
That's it. I'd trade him if he's been injured.
Yeah.
He's been injured. Yeah, I'll take him. I'll give you
honestly a couple
$5 cash for him.
If he had got a couple more injuries, that would be me. But look, maybe I'm full of shit because look at those pitching. Holy hell! I'm looking at OSA, not my scout.
Like 20 out of 80.
Yeah, no, there's always room.
Two-way players they scare me.
OSA's scouting report.
Because either one could develop.
OSA's scouting report says Shelvin's talent is that of a future multiple-time pitcher of the year. And it says Shelvin provides as an everyday third baseman who can impact in a top-tier team.
Crazy.
Who was the other guy? We're going to have to compare him at some point, but who was the other top? There's another two-way player that you said you thought poster, and I would argue this guy's.
Oh.
Yeah, I forgot.
Yeah, maybe this guy is better. I think the other guy was like a lefty, though, and I think he was more developed.
Yes.
I can't remember which team he was on.
The other team was the other guy was a lefty, and I like the lefty better. I give lefty more advantage, but this guy does have some.
The other guy might have been more developed too.
Yeah.
I actually don't. My scout doesn't like this guy's pitching very much, but he could just be very dumb.
Again, I'm looking at OSA only.
Yeah.
Weird. Partial.
Yeah. Yeah.
All
OSA
right.
loves his pitching.
That's a lot on Tampa, but after trying to skip him, I guess he deserved a couple extra minutes.
Yeah, he's a new GM. He deserves his.
Yeah, absolutely. That's going to bring us to our and for the third introduction now for the Denver Dynamite and Jay.
Yeah.
I feel like he tried to make his move, and it didn't work out, and he traded down for the future again. I think he's still trying to find that piece, franchise piece to build around.
Yeah, I agree. I think he said last year that he was moving in the right direction, then fell back and realized he was not going to make it, so he decided to go towards hot garbage, I guess. So.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if it was injuries that kind of derailed him. I can't really remember, or just underperformance. Because he did get close to being a playoff team. He won 85 games last year, 2 years ago, and he was like the best. He was the best non-playoff team.
Yeah.
And then I don't know. Maybe he could have got that. Hadn't sold off his pieces. He finished 76, 86. What if-ism? So I won't do that because. Yeah, I don't know. He's a good GM and he swung and missed, so he's kind of recommitted himself, I think, to further down the line.
Yeah, but he's got some prospects coming up, I think. So I mean,
well, right now in the lineup, Danny Herron. This is going to be his third. Kind of has a team that would strong righty lefty split
fit for Danny Herron.
Yeah, I bet you were trying to.
I've tried.
You're trading away too many assets.
I know. I don't have anything left to trade for him. I do like
Topaz Vision. Be on alert. You better trade.
I will Venmo you $30.
Herron. Oh, his name's also Danny Herron. I just read that.
Yeah, he's the perfect fit
for you. Bro, that's hilarious. And he's nickname free right now. You could have some. Yeah. What do you think, Michael?
I think this
Dynamite right now.
Team unfortunately took a step back last year. I think they kind of sputtered a little bit, but I think Jay was super aggressive in realizing that he probably wasn't going to make the playoffs and restocking his system to put him in a good place going forward. I also just really appreciate the humor that Jay brings to this league, as well as his willingness to trade. He's very active with trading. I've made more trades with him than I think anyone else.
Yeah, I've had to process a few of your guys' trades. So I know you guys definitely. It's like, geez, you guys keep trading. I was like, you guys got a constant trade line going on right now, or what's going on here?
And someone has suggested that we're the same person.
The year he joined the league, he was the trade deadline. He made like 6 trades when he joined the league, and those were the only 6 trades at the deadline, which I love.
Yeah.
And I brought Jay in from we used to play in TBL. It was a tiny little league, but he was one of the more consistent GMs in that league as well, and so I'm super glad he does bring a lot to the league. Yeah. Any other comments on this team? Should we look at his system real quick because that's what it's all about?
Yeah, he's
for
got
Denver.
Yeah.
his best one is number 14, Ricky Marrero. He's nowhere ready yet. He's an international free agent. His second ranked top prospect is Aaron Horsfall, who is
A lot of people
close to
tried to
ready.
draft.
Close
A lot of
to
people tried
ready.
to draft your Horseball this year in the Rule 5.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Oh, I see why. He's 22. Didn't have to. You don't have to protect him.
Kevin Klein looks close to ready too. Starting pitcher. He's got 6 pitches. The changeup's not the best, but yeah, the 6th pitch. Or technically it's the 4th pitch. I don't know if that matters. Not orderly appear.
Yeah, I don't think it does.
You don't think so?
Whether it's the third or the fourth pitch?
Yeah, like where it's listed on the page. Why? What else would? Doesn't look like it's alphabetical. But maybe it's just like the way they have it.
Yeah, I think it's just random, but I could be wrong.
It's probably how he had it as he was developing, and certain pitches develop better than others.
Yeah.
He traded Mike High and then traded back for Mike High.
Yeah.
In the same way that Danny Herron is the perfect fit for my team, Mike High is the perfect fit for a Denver
For
team.
Denver. That is true. That's true.
Mm-hmm.
You should have somehow got Mike High in your partnerships. Mike High for Danny Herron.
Yeah, if I could have just swapped them somehow.
Yep. Yeah, Mike High looks pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, a little bit of a down year, but definitely still headed in the right direction.
Yeah, in terms of like team, do we think he has a chance right now? You said step back a little bit.
Yeah, I don't think he has a chance at the playoffs this year, especially because of how tough a division this is. But I feel like some of the other teams are starting to slip a little bit in this division, and he'll have a window in like the next season or two where he can push for the playoffs.
I agree with that statement.
I will say the very false preseason predictions have him missing the playoffs as an 84.
Yeah, it's so tough.
So, so we'll see how it turns out for Jay's team. And I think that brings us to the almost conclusion of our podcast. One more thing to do, right? Declare some winners, and I think we can probably call it at that point.
Yeah. You're gonna? We're gonna make you go first again.
Okay, I'll go first. I think 7th place is definitely Las Vegas. Just kidding. Las Vegas is definitely. Hold on 1 second. I'm writing this down. All right, so I got Las Vegas winning. I think number 2. It's going to be Galveston. I think those are clear 2 favorites. And then I have Fort Collins as maybe the clear 3 favorites. I'll go with Tampa Bay. In what direction they're going to go with. But I do like Tampa Bay's talent. I'll go with Atlanta at number 5. You know what? No, I'm going to flip-flop those. I'm going to go Atlanta number 4. I'm going to go Tampa Bay number 5. And then I'm going to go New Orleans number 6. And then I'm going to, who's left? Denver? Denver number 7. What do you think?
I'll go. And I agree with you. Las Vegas is first.
Okay.
And I agree that Galveston is second. I think New Orleans is going to be third. Atlanta 4th. Tampa 5th. Wait, no, I did this all wrong. Las Vegas. Galveston. Fort Collins.
Okay.
New Orleans. Atlanta. Tampa, Denver.
All right.
All right.
Michael?
Got Las Vegas first, Galveston second, Fort Collins third, New Orleans fourth, Denver fifth, Tampa Bay sixth, and Atlanta seventh.
All right, I'm convinced Denver and Huron are the same. So
You guys called me. I knew I shouldn't have gone on the podcast.
All right, so
Flew a
seven.
little too close to the sun.
We've got 2 7ths and a 5th for Denver. We've got 2 6ths and a 5th for Tampa. We've got. Did you have Atlanta 7th? Oh, that's brutal. Atlanta 7th, 5th, and
It's a brutal division.
it is a brutal division. That's true. We've got 7th, 5th, 4th. We've got New Orleans with 2 4ths and a 6th, and we've all got Fort Collins 3rd. All picked out Vegas first. We think we have figured out how many teams are making the playoffs from the Jade, how many from the Sapphire.
I think it's going to be a split even. It's going to be 3-3, and it's going to be Fort Collins and Washington. That's because that's what I think I had my threes at.
Right.
Yeah, I think I agree.
All right, yep, and you guys had same predictions with your top threes. So you think you've got the ice figured out for an order? Yeah, so I've got the same three as you on that, I think. Who's fourth? Boston? Not yet. Yeah, I think I agree as well. I'll get Las Vegas, Galveston, Fort Collins. No surprises in the ice conference. That can't be right. That's what happened last year, right? Are we really going to pick the same 6 teams as last year? That should never happen. We're definitely all. But who do you think's going to win the ice conference? Who do you think's going to win the fire conference? And who's our
Las Vegas is winning the ice conference.
All right.
And I have to be cocky. Spokane all the way, baby.
You don't have you picked in the division, but you have and you got Spokane winning the championship.
Oh yeah, we're going all the way, baby.
All right. That's the prediction. I love it.
I have to be cocky.
I'll let the other wants to predict himself champion go next. Michael?
I will go with. I'm good. I would probably pick the same one, but that's boring. So I'll pick. I'll go Montreal out of the.
Ooh.
What conference is that?
Sapphire? Yeah.
Fire and ice mixed up.
Oh yeah, fire.
No, I
Ice.
think they're gonna. I think they're gonna win the ice, and I think. I'll go with. I think Spokane would be boring, so I'll pick San Diego.
Yeah, I like San Diego. That's a better pick.
How dare you?
And who's winning the championship? And Montreal or San Diego?
I'll go with San Diego. I think they have a ton of stars that will do well in the playoffs.
All right, we'll see if that turns out to fruition. And not that I ever let you guys know how this turns out. Keep track of myself and then brag a little when I win. I don't know. I think Las Vegas is enough, so I'm not going to pick them. Las Vegas doesn't have a 30-year-old, so they can't win the championship. That's what I'm going to predict. I'm going to predict a breakout year for Fort Collins. They're going to make it to the championship in a heartbreaking Game 7 win over Demon Chip. And then I'm going to I'm going to pick Huron. Huron to be in the championship again. I think you've got clutch players. And then I'm going to pick Fort Collins to be. I'm not going to give you that here on this podcast, you kidding? So yeah, no, I think we've got 3 very different predictions. Let's see if any of us can be close by the end of the year. But it was fun. I enjoyed doing this. I appreciate you guys getting out and break this down for the league, and I'm sure our GMs appreciated it. Any last thoughts tonight? Any last thoughts tonight as we wrap it up?
I can't believe we got them both done
Really
at once.
excited for all the new. I know. Yeah, that was probably the quickest one we've ever done, and really excited for all the new GMs. Happy they're in the league, and excited to see what they do.
Yeah, same.
I'm just excited that we're starting our 8th season, right? Is it our 8th season? And,
yeah, season number 8.
We're going on through it, getting on trucking, and have another series or season ahead of us. It'll be fun.
Yeah, it's great. And I've been pretty busy lately. Focused back on the league here. Gonna make a couple changes in the future to maybe speed up the off season a little bit. Might look at the schedule in the future. A couple things. So if you have proposals or ideas, if anybody's still listening, just make sure you drop those in the proposals chat, because I'm probably going to start bringing some things up that I want to address here in the next few weeks. So thank you for listening. Thank you again, guys, for joining me. See you next time, and good luck this Sunday with Open.
Happy opening day, everybody.
All right. Good luck, everyone.